going on? Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I am your host, Clement, and before I introduce our lovely panelists, would you do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button to the channel? We go live every week, one time a week, at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So, if you're ever interested in any more of this kind of topics, subscribe to the channel. But, on to the panelists. We have John, Mr. Black Wall Street.
What's up, everybody? It's Black Wall Street here. If you want to learn about trading options or you want to learn about trading stocks, just hit me up on my YouTube at Black Wall Street Trading LLC.
And we have Chris, the Blooming Ebony.
Hello, my name is Chris. If you are interested in talking about femininity and all the tough conversations like vulnerability and sex before marriage, all that tough stuff, shoot over to my channel. I hope you like and comment and subscribe.
Awesome. And with that,
let's talk about sex, baby.
Waiting on Danielle, who probably be here soon. But especially since I wanted to have this topic today. This topic today is obviously about Kevin Samuels, and a lot of people. He's always a very controversial topic. Some people love him, some people hate him, some love parts of his ideas. So today we're going to talk his most, I want to say, controversial points that I've heard so far.
Right?
So the first controversial topic of the night. You cannot do better than your baby daddy. Go back to your baby daddy. So a lot of times when women call in to Kevin Samuels asking for a high-value man, he asks them, height, weight, dress size, do you have any kids? And usually when they have kids, it's you cannot do better than your baby daddy. You should probably go back to your baby daddy. So what do you guys think about that?
Yes.
John.
That's one of them. That's one of the ones that I don't, that this is where he and I, that's a bit brash. And I know you should listen to the message, but that's a negative. That you can't generalize that. You can't reduce a woman to saying the only person in the whole world that you can ever be with and romantically involved with is your child's father. Like, come on. Nah, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree?
No, I don't agree with that. No.
Chris, okay. I kind of want to dive into this a little deeper, but Chris, what do you think?
Oh, we're going to get in
it. I agree with the message to an extent. Do you want to go around or should I explain?
I'm going to need Chris to get into this right now. I need Chris to get into this. You got me. Okay. I'm about to start chain smoking. Let me open my new pack. You get my new glad I went and got them.
Okay.
Chris, go for it.
So to an extent, I believe this. I see this as this is your child's father is someone that you've attracted in the past. And I believe that you are what you attract. And so if you haven't done any work since being with your child's father, most likely you're probably going to attract more men like your child's father. Necessarily are you limited to just him? I think the idea that Kevin Samuels is getting at is that if you want to get married, these women are having children by men who they're calling deadbeats, and they want to marry a man who's a millionaire. And the idea is that's kind of a lot to put on him. What else are you offering him? You're coming into this with another child. You don't really seem very desirable necessarily. And so that's kind of his take on it. I see this more so as, unfortunately, your child's father was your option then. And if you're still the same person now that you were then, you're probably going to attract more men like him. So either you upgrade yourself and try to pull in better options, or you go back to your child's father. Does that make sense?
You know what? You always make so much sense. You know something, Chris? You just mute her mic. Mute it. Yeah.
So what were you originally thinking then?
Okay, so She went deep into it.
Hold on, real quick. Shout out to Leo. Thanks. This is always a very interesting topic. A lot of his points, a lot of Kevin Samuel's points, I think are very interesting talking topics, and that's what he did. He started a conversation, so we're just trying to continue it. So continue, John.
So she went deep into it, and I can't disagree with her message, because you're right. If you are not going to work on yourself, you're going to attract the same men. Now, originally, that you had before. Now, originally, when I still don't agree with 100% with the message, because that is a generalization. It's very generalized. So she has another option. Stop looking for men that make $1 million and just date a regular man. That's your other option. Now, if you still maintain that you want a man who is of high value, who, and whatever that may be, however they define that, because I think it was something outside of monetary. It was not just money. The thing.
He had to have been making 6 figures within I think 3 years, consecutive 3 years, and or is it 5 years? I think it might have been 3 or 5 years. Consistent 6 figures. You are LinkedIn level, social media wise. You have a high a network of people that all consider you like a peer of high value people as well. So it's not just about the money. It's about having people around you who are also high value that see you as a high value person as well.
Okay. Yes. All right. So if you look at now, back to my point, it's not going to be easy.
Meek at night. I hate Kevin Samuel's delivery, but his messages are true society we're in right now. Transactional society.
So go ahead, Chris.
Sorry, really quickly. I was going to say I sort of agree with that, but I think that has always been fairly transactional. I don't think that part of society has changed too much today. I just feel like we're more aware of it now. The transactional society, I feel as though it's kind of always been fairly transactional. But
or society in general?
When it comes to like romantic relationships.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is true.
I mean, even in my day, transactions, like you were just expected to pay. You were expected to. You just understood that, like your role was defined. It was understood. Yeah. And now, what I think Unique is alluding to is that that's how they choose to get married. Period. Like they only see back then. Yeah, it was understood the man is going to get a job. He's going to do this. Blah 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 blah. Got it. But before you was courting her, you were already working, because it's not going to look right during the when you were getting vetted by her dad. It was not going to look right if you didn't have a job, because it's one of the first things he's going to ask you is, where do you work? And you were being judged. The dad was judging you. If he's got sons, the brother's judging you, all of that. So you didn't show up there without that. So it was just understood. But going back to my other point, you
cannot do better than your baby daddy.
Well, I mean, what you can't do is just keep having your eye on the prize, because you're not going to match up with that high value man. Like you just not. Y'all are not going to mesh. You're not going to survive, and you'll have somebody ignorant say, "How you know what a high value man thinking about?" Man, listen, been there, done that, and I'm telling you, we ain't looking for nobody with a bunch of kids, and then you don't really know how to move in my circle. Like when I start taking you places, you got to know how to move in those places. It's not, a high value man just can't date anybody. Like you got to know what it means when you put your fork across the top of your plate and you put a knife across it. You got to know that this man is fixing to come. That means you're finished and you're ready for dessert. Like you just got to know certain things, how to meet certain people, how to talk, how to stand, how to walk. Like it's a certain amount of etiquette that you have to know. And I don't want to have that conversation. Well, do you have a babysitter? No, when I need to fly out, or I need to go to Las Vegas, or I want to go here, you need to be able to go. So Now, does that mean that this woman is damned to hell to just her father, the father of her children? No, but she needs to lower her expectations and and date just a normal, regular guy that's nice and willing to accept her invaded womb. Since we're on Kevin Samuels, that's what he likes to say. Ma'am, your womb has been invaded. Just go back to the, just go back.
Shout out to Mr. Hall of Fame and M3 from Knowledge of Relationship. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Honestly, I really appreciate it. Neek, you do better than what you are, period. You can't do better than what you are not.
That's what she meant to say. So she meant to say you can't do better.
Yeah.
Than what you are. Yeah, so that's back to what Chris was talking about. You're gonna attract what you are. Like what you are is what you're gonna attract.
So here's where I kind of differ on that. All right, I'm gonna take a left turn on this a little bit. I don't really agree with that because, again, like I said before on a different panel, we cannot. There are women out there that have babies by guys that just aren't good guys. They're not productive guys. But that woman can still be a very valuable woman. So saying that she cannot do better than that bum that she decided to have a kid with means that she's capped herself. And I believe we grow over time. She can realize that she's made a bad decision and she can work on herself and become much better than who she is right there and then. She can realize that she's bringing a little bit more of a liability towards a man, humble herself, become someone that anyone would happily step in and take care of that child along with her because she's that much of a valuable asset. So when it comes to you can do better than your baby daddy, I don't know. I got to say I disagree with that. But when it comes to women wanting a high value man and won't settle for anyone less.
That's crazy.
That's where I say, chick, listen, you're not all that. You ain't all that in the back.
You're not all that because you got to understand something. When you assuming that the person that I'm describing meets all the qualifications of being a high value man, and it's not simply about money. Hey, Danielle, what's up, best friend?
Right on time.
Man,
No,
absolutely not.
It's not a complete worker though.
I'm at work. I had to finish passing my meds.
Oh,
good old med pass.
Let me know that.
Yeah.
Y'all using electronic MAR?
So
yeah.
Don't come on. We're on a
hey, we know about that kind of stuff, y'all.
Right? Danielle.
Yes.
Kevin Samuels topics. That's what we're doing tonight. You cannot do better than your baby daddy.
Look, she already frowned up.
You cannot do better than your baby daddy. Let's hear it. What do you think?
For who?
What do you mean?
Who can't do better than their baby daddy? That's a blanket statement.
Yeah. Women cannot do better than the baby daddy, the guy that decides
go back to your baby daddy.
So go back to your baby daddy.
I think that's true for some and not for all.
Explain.
Yeah.
My mom was married, and my father left when I was 6 months old. But she did better and found somebody who was willing to take care of her and us. Mm. My mother was still in love with my dad, though, so she never married anybody else until me and my brother were adults. And I mean, she held on to her marriage with him for so long that when she finally did decide to get a divorce, my dad was like, I have to meet this man because who's making you divorce me?
Wow.
And my dad actually approved her husband.
Wow.
And he was better.
That's actually pretty epic. I mean, you are always in a random anomaly. I'm telling you that right now. And that's in a respectful, interesting, and also kind of like how Not like your life randomly worked out very well.
Yeah.
Very well. Like married, got a family, you could do whatever you'd like. Like
Boss
really,
nurse.
yeah, a boss nurse, a fly nurse mom.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I'm blessed.
Yeah, I mean, listen, everything worked out very, very well for you, and I'm glad to actually have someone like you on the panel because
Allah is for
you're always going to give a different view that most people haven't heard.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's when we having discussions, it'd be hard for me to understand because I only know life from my vantage point.
Yeah.
So I'll be listening like, that don't sound right.
You think you live in a bubble?
I do. I was just telling somebody that today when you asked me to be on your podcast, I was like, being on these panels just pointed out to me that I live a very secluded life. Like I really don't be having a clue about what other women think or go through, or my reality is just so different than most. The way I think is different than most. So I like it though.
Yeah, I've learned some stuff on these panels.
Me too.
I do. I value my girl a lot.
Who you telling?
Man, I'm learning, but it ain't nothing out there in the world without having to go out there in the world. It's like, nah, I'm a hold on.
I don't know. I think the best thing that this panel has done is kind of like it makes you a little bit more aware. Like these panels, that's what it
made me aware. I promise you.
It makes you, yeah. Well, yeah. I guess that's in everyone's sense. It makes you more aware to both dating and not dating.
A lot of stuff.
But you can't do better than your baby daddy.
I think we all are pretty much on the same, around the same arena. I don't think there's really any
disagreements.
Outlier. Yeah, because I mean, Danielle and I both agree that it's not 100%. Like that's too general. That's way too generalized. If somebody alluded to this inside of a research paper, I would list it as a limitation on the research that you can't come across. There's no way this is enough information for you to generalize. You can't generalize this because each woman is different. Each woman is completely different. It's like you said, she could have become aware in that moment. She could have become aware while she was carrying the baby. And the first time that he wanted to leave, she was going to let him go because she would realize, because women have epiphanies, boy, when they get pregnant, they do some shit to them. I mean, you mess around and don't even want a whole husband no more. You're like, you know what? You are the devil. Leave.
They say what? Shit gets real?
Shit get real, boy. Everything about them changed.
Yeah. Everything is for play until that happens.
So let me ask you this, though. A lot of the talking points that are really going around like the internet right now is avoid single mothers, don't date single mothers. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
It's not easy. It's not.
My mom was a single mother. And my mother is an anomaly. My mother.
You are an anomaly, so yeah, it makes sense. You came from.
My mother is 20 years older than me, and the men that are trying to date her are younger than me.
My mom is the same. My mom's an anomaly too.
The men that are trying to date her and marry her, of course, marry her since we're Muslim. The men that are trying to marry her are younger than me.
She raised you right. She raised you right then. Because she still has she's instilled in herself all the same values that younger men are still seeing. Like, wow, she's extremely valuable as a woman. So,
yeah.
Do you think a lot of these talking points kind of dumb down men and women too much?
I think the talking points do too much blame and not a lot of how to fix. I'm not saying that the talking points are wrong, because a lot of women fit into that category and a lot of other categories that come up. but what are we going to do to fix it? And that's what's missing. We just do the talking and the bashing for entertainment, but nobody is looking for a solution or talking about a solution. The few that find it, no one speaks about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there are times, if you go on Kevin Samuels' TikTok page, he actually reveals some of those therapeutic sessions, and the girls are getting it, and they do understand, and they're giving him follow-up and what's going on and how this has changed and this is and all of that. But on his channel, I'm like you, he shows on his YouTube channel, a lot of times he just shows but he gets some really crazy, bro. I'm serious, man. You know, I ain't trying to bash nobody, but you know, I'm a man, and you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like you 5'2", 350, bro. You ain't attractive to a lot of motherfuckers. I'm just telling you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you attractive to somebody, but you can't
Have
go
your pick of the litter.
fucking 3% of the men and say they all right, and then you saying you got your eyes set on 1% of the entire fucking population in the world, money. You understand what I'm saying? In the world, not the United States, the fucking world, the earth. You understand? And you 350? Nah, bro. I'm pretty sure he found
5'2". 5'2", 350.
I mean, you got a lot of competition, boo. You got a lot of competition. I'm talking about, even if this man had a fat fetish, you still got a lot of competition. You know what I'm saying?
So for anyone watching, I'm going to drop the stream link into the chat below. Feel free to call in if you would like to drop a comment or question about any of the panelists or anything that we're talking right now. But you can only come in for one question for the whole show, so choose wisely. Link is dropped.
Why when people like people who are big, they call it a fetish?
Say that again?
Why when people like people who are big, they call it a fetish?
Because it goes against the normal.
Yeah. No, that's actually
taboo. It's not like when a girl go out to the club, she ain't trying to find a fat dude in the club. I mean, if it just so happens she roll up on a fat dude and he got some swag about him and he funny and she not really like on him, but it's just something about his big ass that just she like being around him. You know what I'm saying? And then one thing leads to another, and it's like, damn, you know, like I'm really finding my. If he fuck around and ask me to go home with, I might just do this shit. Hey, boo, what? You want to get breakfast in the morning? You know what?
Yes.
I
like that.
I damn sure do. I got my good drawers on too. Hell yeah. Somebody gonna see them. It's just not the norm.
It's not our first pick. Not our second.
Fuck no. He had to do extra. You know what I'm saying? Like he just had to be, and they out there. Like those guys are out there. They're charming, they're funny, they're comfortable in their own skin, they dress nice, they smell good, they keep their shit cut, they well kept. Yeah. So
because it is a fetish or a preference.
I think the difference between a fetish and a preference is like the extreme fascination. Like if you're just attracted to something, that's just a preference.
Right.
You're just drawn to it because that's what you're used to seeing. But a fetish is typically some type of extreme fascination, obsession. So those, like they have all those shows where they show these men like feeding these women because they want them to get bigger, like stuff like that, where it kind of
that would be
becomes
that's
borderline
more like
obsessive.
I remember I was watching that show where they lose weight, like the America's Biggest Loser or something.
Biggest Loser, actually. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I was watching it. I don't watch the show, but it was just on my TV, and it was like toward the end, so they had lost all his weight, and they showed this man, but then they showed his before picture before he had lost all the weight. I preferred his before.
Wait,
what? How big was he?
I mean, I don't know. He was big. He was big.
Okay. I feel like I had it dropped in there. Okay, all right. So I think we all got pretty much our thoughts on this first question.
Speaking of thoughts, what the hell's on your mind? What you thinking about?
So on to the next question of the night. If you as a man are not working 60 hours a week paid, then you can't expect the best.
That's bullshit.
If you as a man are not working 60 hours a week paid, then you cannot expect the best.
Nah. You can expect.
Where's that what? Where's the what?
Nah.
What? Right.
Because there's things that don't require you to do that. You could have planned your life in such a way. I don't work 60 hours a week, never. And I'm good. I promise you.
Let's just say a kid starting out at 20 years old. You don't think he has to start out working? He could just do his regular 40 hours, 30 hours, and just be okay.
I'm raising my voice. 20, most of the smart and not hard.
Home. The average dude at 20 is still at home. So hell no, he ain't working no 60 hours no damn week.
I can see what Clement's saying. Like, for example, in my career, if you want to be noticed, you're putting in the hours. If you want to rise to the top, you're putting in the hours. You're putting in during busy season, you're putting in 60 plus hours a week. Like our target is 55 hours a week. I worked 17 hours on, I think, last Monday or something like that. 17 hours. And honestly, I think for a lot of men, the idea is if you want to be these high value men and you want to have certain options, for a lot of these jobs, you have to put in the hours. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the work. It's not easy. I think, this is what sucks about his messages, is that there's so much context behind them. And I think for a lot of them, there's a lot of wisdom for like how he got to these particular statements. Like when you read it just like this, you're thinking, well, no, you can work 40 hours a week and make plenty of money. You know, there are plenty of people who, well, sort of, you know, CEOs, you think they don't work that much, but they're always on call. Like they don't really have a day off. So I think the idea is you have to build this discipline because you need it. There's not going to be a day off later if you're trying to be one of these high value corporate men. That's usually who he's talking to. He's not talking about entertainers, all of that. He's talking about high value corporate men. And for accounting, law, all of that, you have to put in the hours, unfortunately, if you're trying to become a partner.
Owning your own business.
Yes, that is well. You don't get a day off.
What? Now, owning your own business, you're going to put in way more hours than 60 a week. I can just tell you that from experience. Like you're going to put in, when you first 2-3 years, you're going to put anywhere between 100 and 120 hours a week in it. And that's because you have to, you're underfunded more than likely. You don't have enough. And then you're going to have to be your own marketing department. You're going to have to be your own accounting firm. You're going to have to do your taxes. You have to do everything. And then you have to be your own customer service rep. Like somebody come in, especially when I had the mechanic business, you got to remember, I'm not a mechanic, but I'm good with people. So if my mechanics, they just don't make good business owners. Like they're terrible with people. Most of them, they just want to be left alone and do the work, but they don't smile much. They just don't. They like surgeons, just like surgeons, mean as shit. And they don't care about smiling and making you smile, and they don't care how you feel. This is the way it works. So you spend a lot of time working.
I want to go over what M3 and Mr. Hall of Fame said in the comments real quick. The idea is to work smarter, not harder. Do not need to put in the time if you invest and use your money wisely. See, and this is where again, when a young man is just starting out in his career, what money is he going to have to be investing wisely?
That's what I asked too.
If he's staying at home, his whole check, because he's not paying no bills.
But we live in a society where people are saying that you have to kick your son out at 18 after college they can't move.
20 or
We're not
25.
saying
And I
Whatever.
just shared something on my page like that is a
In reality-
generational curse,
hold
and
on,
we
hold
need to stop that.
it is.
Hold on.
It
In
is.
reality, though, most kids now are living at home for a decently long time, practically till 30.
No,
No, they really
none of
are.
my friends stayed at home that long. They all, even I left before I graduated high school.
Okay, so I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, okay? What age are those people?
Now
Yeah.
I'm almost 40.
Okay. That's a different generation, though.
Is it? Damn. Okay.
Yeah, but no, what I mean that in the. Well, listen.
Boy, that damn face was priceless. Is it? Damn, shit, I shouldn't.
I mean that as in like there was a whole different set
Stop
of
it,
values.
John.
That was a whole different set of values. Like, hold on, M3. I'm gonna pull you up real quick. But if a kid is just starting out in the workforce, he doesn't have the time or money in that workforce yet to be investing it wisely. Like, what has he accumulated? It's like
Why every time you have a topic?
Wait, hold on. It's like he comes out of college with debt, zero money, and then how can you tell him to invest wisely?
So why every time you have a topic, it be something I be done just thought about? I literally, when I was getting done with my prayer, was thinking about my boys. And what I said is, I told him, if you can't, he wants to be a football player. I said, well, you got to think of something else to do, because if that doesn't work, you have to have something to do. He looks at how much I make as a nurse. I told him, well, then that's what you can do. It only takes a year. You can become an LPN. You can make $100,000 a year starting out. And it doesn't have to be your lifelong career, but it can be something that just gets you started. And I was like, and if he does that, I'm going to insist that he stays home and demand $1,000 a week from him until I get $10,000 to put in a high yield interest account for him. And then he has to say 10,000 more before I say you're ready to move. And at that point, I would want him to buy like a multiplex home and not just go rent somewhere. So like, I mean, it's up to the parent to guide their kid. I'm not about to put him just out there. I don't want you going to rent nowhere, because that's wasting your money. You're not about to start off with no single family home, because that's not where you're going to live forever. That's your starter home. So it needs to be multiplex, because once you leave that home, you need to be owning it and making money off of it and going to live somewhere else with your family.
Right now,
You need to learn how to save. All of my children had savings accounts before they were 1 year old. I mean, my baby, he's just not starting to spend money. You know, when you're a little kid, people just give you money. They would give him money. And he would give me money and go, here, Mom, put this in my bank account. Here, Mom, put this in my bank account. People would look at him and give him $20 more because he giving it to me to put in his bank account. So, I mean, it's just up to the parent to teach the kid that money is a tool and that you have to be responsible with it and how to use it.
That's one thing that we trying to change now in the Black community.
Hold on. Yeah, I agree with that. Actually, we should. But M3, what's going on, my man? I like your comment. It was definitely a conversation. Your comment was a conversation starter. I'll say that.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, you know. And I'm glad it was, because see, the thing is, right, when it comes to investing, the same amount of time that you put in, right, for like college, you can set a little bit of money aside. Now these days, right, there is really like no excuse like to not have any type of money to set aside to invest in. And it could be small investments. It doesn't have to be anything like major. Like Danielle said, she was spot on when she said like the parents, right, can help teach the children, like, you know, financial literacy and try to like set them up for like a good future. But I mean, now these days, not even the parents themselves, right, you know, are financial literate. So let's just say in this scenario, you're just on your own, you know, you're out at the age of 18 and you're going off to college and you're relying on like on student loans and that. So, I mean, you could either do it two ways, because I have an old friend that did this, which I wouldn't recommend for most, but you know, she started investing in her businesses, like as far as like food business, duplex homes, but she used like, you know, like student loans for that. And with student loans, some of them like you pay like 0 interest down, as opposed to try and scatter out some like cash or whatever. Like it doesn't take as much to try like start small investments. And even if you can't if you don't want to go through that route, invest in maybe put like $100 aside. Once you get out of college and you graduate, you get the job that you want to work for, as you're paying off your student loans, put the money to the side, put in like some stocks, bonds, whatever that is necessary, and hopefully over time it will grow. I mean, now I'm just using like stocks for example because I have that type of experience, but there's other ways that you can invest in. You just got to think and put your money into it, make it work for you, and it's all about working smart, not working hard. Now, of course, in the beginning, you probably will have to do like a little bit more, and the more that you do, the faster that you can to be able to get to a point where you could like put in less hours, but then earn more money and less time. But it takes little baby steps. It doesn't take overnight. So that's all I gotta say about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick it back off of you in a minute. Okay. Basically off of you and Danielle.
Go ahead.
All right, so what M3 was saying is actually spot on. So one of the things that you can do, all the parents, the one thing that you have to set aside when you're parenting a lot of times is how you feel about something and emotions. Like if you're going to really direct them the right way. So why does everybody, well, I think my child needs that college experience. And that's probably true to a point. But let's talk about money for a second. If your child is smart enough to go to school online, yeah, and I meant that because it has the discipline to go to school online, then you can get into a school because there's a lot of schools out there and people are looking for the credential. They don't give a damn what school you went to. You can get that school. You can use your student loan. By the time you're going to get $12,000 a year for over 3 semesters. There are schools out there that have top degrees where you're going to get a refund check back each semester for about $4,000 or $5,000. With $4,000 or $5,000, you can go and talk to somebody like me. I can show you how to make that. By the time you get your next payout, you will be around $8,000 or $9,000 in that account. And now when you get to your master's, you get $20,500 a year. And most of the time you'll get back about $3,000 or $4,000 after you spend about $1,000 on books, because it's about how much books cost. About $1,000 on books, you'll get back about $6,000 every semester. So you working with that. Now remember, we did your undergraduate, which was 4 years, and all these semesters. By the time you get into your graduate your graduate studies, you could have already paid back the money, the difference, and you got about $20,000 that's yours. And you're going to do the same thing with this graduate school. And when you graduate, you'll have about $30,000 or $40,000 that's yours just from graduate school, about $50,000 or $60,000 total. And your student loans have already been paid off. And now you got a great way to start your life. Like people are not using
my best friend
loans worth of that. Like they get them and they just go. Like they go. I got the new Jordan.
We're not really talking about it. It's just like student loans, credit cards, and all that stuff. It's like essentially how you learn it. It's like, oh, it's just free money that you're gonna get.
No, it ain't free money. You got to pay it back.
Obviously, you learn that later on after you've dug yourself a big ass hole of debt. But that's how you learn about it in the beginning. Listen, I destroyed my credit with my first credit card because I'm like, oh my God, I have $500. I'm rich. Let me just Yeah, it didn't work out well for me. But listen, Mr. Hall of Fame, man, what's going on? Yeah. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it. Mr. Best in the World, Hall of Fame is going for right now. He'll be back. Anyway,
I see him in the comments though. So That's kind of
Yeah, he's still in the comments. He's still in the
yeah.
comments.
Okay.
Yeah, just a part of me being creative, everybody. Don't pay me no mind. But yeah, I for one time, you may want to take the shot. For one time, definitely agree with John. You know what I'm saying? Definitely agree with John. Yeah. I mean, it's a monumental moment. And I would say that to piggyback off of that's also how the child grew up and what things are around them if they have parents that are investing in them around them. It's like me and my brother. My brother grew up in one household, I grew up in another. His parents invested in him. He had a bank account by 17. He had his first car by 19. It took me to the age of 27 to get my first car. You know what I'm saying? So that's 8 years because I had to do everything, literally by myself. My parents didn't invest in me. I had to invest in myself. But because his parents did invest in him and they did help him out and they made sure that he had a bank account. They made sure that they financed his first car. They made sure that he was career driven and they made sure that that his college was paid for. He had a leg up. You know what I'm saying? And investment goes two ways. It goes in who's investing in you as a child, because as a child, you don't have that financial freedom. You know what I'm saying? You don't have those financial choices. Your parents do. They decide what's going to be your financial future. You know what I'm saying? And then from that, whatever they decide is what you're going to have to go with from that. And then you got to make other choices once you become an adult. So it's twofold. So yes, it'll be great if everybody could just start off and, the credit score is great and we got all these opportunities and we got all this and that third, but that's not reality. Reality is, did they invest in you or not? Did your parents or your grandparents or your auntie, or uncles, or whoever invest in you? And did they give you the knowledge and tools to be successful out here? You know what I mean? Not just career-wise, but relationship-wise and everything else.
Yeah,
so
but
then
with a lot of
if they're not teaching you to be healthy overall and your choices are going to go, you're going to be screwed up. And you're gonna have to use mentors and everybody else to help you out to get you to a point where you're actually doing what you need to do. So that's my view on it.
So I'm going to pose this question to the panel, and before we move on to the next question, to all of you guys, can a parent ever say, like, let's just say again, you're talking about a single parent who's trying to raise a kid, put him through college and all of that stuff. Can they ever say, like, listen, I was just too busy to teach you that stuff? Is that a valid reason?
Nah.
No, because if that's the case, then you should be giving birth to any kids. If that's the case,
I mean,
why give birth to the kid and you're too busy for it?
We're talking about reality here, man. We're talking about day-to-day reality. Pookies,
Yeah, and I'm talking about common
those
sense.
guys.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying though. I'm just speaking on a common sense perspective. You know,
have a lot of
you should be living that life, and your child should be watching you. Like they should be watching you. Should be like when listen.
You should do your actions. Is that what you're saying?
When I spend time with my boys, bro, we don't just go outside and play catch. Them niggas black. They can play. They can fucking catch. They can catch. They can run. They can jump. I mean, they was born doing this shit. I don't need to teach them that. It's innate. I teach them stuff that they don't. That a lot of people just don't teach them. Like when I go, for instance, when I was writing my business plan, my son sat down and watched me write the business plan. I told him, hey, look, this right here is where your financial section go. This is your executive summary. This is your the section that covers who you're going to be competing against. I mean, all of this stuff. And I broke it down section. I taught him that. And whenever I started trading, I taught my son. My son know how to read technical analysis, just like I know how to read technical analysis. He know how to do an iron condor. He knows how to do his diagonal spreads. He understands the stock market. He calls me sometime and tell me what you think about this stock. Like whatever you teach them, however you spend time with them, that's the time to do it. Like when they're kids, when they're real small, teach them what if you know the formulas, start teaching them math formulas. You don't have to wait and let somebody else teach your child. You teach your child and let that child shine when class starts.
I got something to do. I'm gonna get right back on here in a hot second.
Okay. So, don't wait, but you got time. Make the time. Like instead of talk about let's watch TV, let's watch a movie and dumbing your kid down and giving them somebody else's opinions, cut the TV off and teach them what the distance formula is. Teach them how to correct how to properly use grammar in a sentence structure. Teach them. Just teach them. That's all you got to do. That's a lot better time than you going out playing catch with them, or you watching some damn SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm. I have a question to ask you guys. Did you guys know that in China they set a curfew when it comes to video games? So I think at a certain time between like 7 p.m. to like whatever time, China's kids are not allowed to be playing like video games, like pretty much just mainly like at night. And I think the only times when they're allowed to play video games is like only maybe like for some days, but not like a lot of days as much as like the United States.
And you wonder
guys heard about that?
why they so much better
I didn't know.
in math and science.
I thought it was an hours limitation. Is it a curfew? Like certain times? I thought they had like they could only play a certain amount of hours a week.
I'm trying to remember because I don't want to say it backwards, but I feel like I'll just say it like this. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I sure did the research on that one, but I forgot. I think it was like they could play up to 2 hours within. Sorry, I would say like at least like 4 hours within a week.
Yeah.
So probably like 2 days or something like that out of a week. But I could be wrong. I could be going to the extreme, but
It was a really low number. I read about it.
Yeah.
I can't remember like the actual
It's
structure.
3 hours
Yeah.
a week. It's 3 hours a week.
3 hours a week. Oh, and my
3
wife
hours
just
a
corrected me. She said,
Kids in China can play video games. 3 hours.
Yeah.
a week.
yeah.
I don't-
And my wife just told me it was like the weekends. I think it was only allowed to play during the weekends, but only for a few hours. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think that even matters. Like honestly, the reason why I said that doesn't matter. I think, and I just speak from my own personal experience. And maybe I'm just a genius, or I'm just really smart. But I could play video games all day, every day. I mean, my homework was done, most definitely. My homework was done. My chores was done because my parents didn't play that. My grandparents didn't play that. But you know what I mean. But I could play video games all day, every day, and I was still killing it. You know, when it comes to school, it was, you know, it was something that, well, one, I had a passion for, and two, it was instilled in me. It's what you instill. You got to make learning fun. You got to make it creative. You got to make it something that the kids want to do. And even though they have other activities, if you make them appreciate, if you make them appreciate education, you know, just like they appreciate video games or anything else, the kids will definitely gravitate towards that. Because when a baby is born, their minds is moldable. You mold them to what you want them to be. Now, yes, they'll develop their own personality, their own traits, things of that nature. But what you mold them and you're teaching them and you're showing them, you know what I'm saying, what they should do and what they should be. And there's a study on that. There was a study that showed babies who were pampered more and taken care of more, and babies who were less pampered and how they reacted over time. And it showed the behavior traits and everything else. So it's what you instill into the kid. So John is right again. It's definitely what you put into your child. So him doing that with his child's gonna have financial literacy. They're gonna have a step up over kids their age when they turn 18. It's just gonna naturally happen because John has instilled all that into them. You know what I mean? And I gotta give you flowers, John. Definitely, that's a great thing you're doing with your kids, man. I definitely commend that for real.
For both you and M3, question on the screen: if you as a man are not working 60 hours a week paid, then you can't expect the best.
No, that's not true. That's not true. It all depends on what your field is, what your field of study is. If your field of study is 60 hours or more, then you better well be putting in that 60 hours and more. You know what I'm saying? Studying your craft, developing your craft. Yeah. But if it's not that, and you can do a field where you don't have to do 60 hours, then guess what? You don't have to do 60 hours. That's the field that you chose, and the requirements for that field that you chose for a career is a lot different. So it's based on what you plan to do for your life and the requirements that you put in. You know what I'm saying? So if you meet the requirements and you go above and beyond that, then yeah, you can make it. And sometimes it won't take you 60 hours a week.
So
sometimes it may take more. It depends on your craft and what you do.
What career can you start out that you can choose not to have to put in that much time and still become extremely successful?
I don't know up top because I don't know every single career in the world, so I don't know up top. You know
I
what
mean,
Yeah, I don't
listen,
think it
I don't
well,
know. I don't know either, but I would wager that there's not a lot of things in this world that you can attain high success without having to put in more hours to gain that back. You got to put in something to get something back. The whole idea behind
Yeah,
this is if you want money and wealth later on, you're going to have to put in more time
I
than
mean,
everyone
and
else.
that's why I said like from the beginning, I'm like, okay, well, okay, as opposed to like working hard, like you want to work smart, but part of working smart is that you do have to put in like that time into it, right? Until you're able to build a life that's comfortable. So to answer the question, as far as like does 60 hours a week, can grant me like the best of life, it's not the hours that grants me the best of life. It's because you could work for 60 hours a week and you could make all this money, but if you're an alcoholic, if you're a drug addict, if you just blow your money like on women and all kinds of stuff, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I know you would, but I'm serious. Like
I mean,
it's about money management.
I mean,
That's
you.
how you
I
get the
agree.
best of
I
it.
agree with that. The money management is key. But if you have poor money management with 40 hours worth of money versus poor money management with 60 hours worth of money, you can still
I
get more
think then,
hours.
then that answers my question. Then you're pretty much screwed. It doesn't really matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter. You could be working 80 hours a week if you can, right? But if you have poor money management skills, it doesn't really matter. Then at this point, you can't really expect for the best of life. It's not about how much you make, it's about how much are you able to save and manage, basically, until you
Okay.
get to a point where you can invest it.
Okay. But I know you guys have your show, and I really appreciate you guys stopping by and at least chiming in on my conversation. But definitely give your channel a shout out. You guys have a show going on in a little bit, so go for it, man.
Well, actually, we don't have a show tonight, but we got something that we have to do anyway. But thank you, CKQ. So I am the great M3 from Knowledge and Relationships, as what my crew was saying, and definitely tune in to our Monday, Thursdays, and Saturday nights especially for like the latest night stream, all like at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We try to come up with surprising topics, great originals, and just stick around and tune in, like and subscribe. But don't forget to subscribe to don't forget to subscribe to CKQ's live stream as well too. So and get them like that.
Appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Thank you, everyone, and thank y'all for having me on the CKQ experience. Oh yeah, thanks for having me on the CKQ experience. CKQ, John, Crystal Bloom, Ebony. Appreciate all of y'all. Definitely salute to you. And yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, guys. Really appreciate it.
All right, thank you guys.
All right, see you guys.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Okay.
What was your question? You asked if not having the time is a valid reason to not teach your kids.
Yes.
Do you have an answer on that? Because I'm not sure. I don't I have an answer, but I can't get put my words together. How do you feel about that?
Do I feel like if a parent doesn't have the time? Honestly, I was going to say that is a little bit more understandable, but what John said made a lot more sense, which is what you want to instill into your children should be shown through your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are going to be picking up a lot more from what you're doing than what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. They sit back and watch you all the time. That's how they learn how to cuss. That's how they learn their gestures. I mean, the study that he was talking about, that's why I didn't disagree with it, because it's shown that we were talking about social cognitive development, and where children who receive more attention from their parents have better social skills. They have, and this is like early development before a year old, smiling. That's where they learn to smile from. They learn to fix their face and that posture, and it controls their reactivity in their self-regulation also. And it builds a secure attachment, which is what you want, a secure attachment, meaning they're comfortable, they can self-regulate when you're not around, and they don't have to have you there, and they don't overreact when they're placed in an uncomfortable situation. So if they're watching you like that the whole time, talk to them like that's why doctors will tell you talk to them just like you would. No, don't talk to them like that. Talk to them like just you be surprised at what they're picking up. Just talk to them. Don't look at them like they don't understand or talk louder like they don't speak it. They are learning a lot faster than you're learning. So a lot of times we project us onto them because they come from us. And we try to realize how we were at that age, and surely we didn't know anything. Well, you'd be surprised. One, your kid is not you. And then two, a child is learning a lot just by what they learn 90% from watching and listening. 90% the first 4 years. 90% of their knowledge comes from watching and listening. Don't believe me? Say something you don't want nobody to know in front of a 1 or 2 year old that can talk and see what happens. They'll repeat that shit back word for word like a tape recorder. And you said it hours ago. Grandma, my daddy said he can't stand when you come over because your feet stink. What? I ain't say that. That baby ain't got no reason to lie. Well, he lying.
So what did you come up with, Chris?
Well, when you asked the question, the first thing I thought about was parents, either two parents where they both work and they have children, one parent where they have to work, and comparing that to a two-parent household where one parent works and one parent stays home. And I was thinking the kid that would be better off, who probably learn the most, would be the child with the one parent who's home with them, teaching them actively. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because they have the time to, like, that's their job. That's what they're dedicated to do. And so I was thinking, yeah, it's not a good reason, but I think that's if we had to narrow it down, I think that is probably the reason we would hear more often for our children not knowing financial literacy is that the parents don't know is probably the number one reason. And then number two is they don't have the time to even sit down and budget themselves, yet alone teach their children how to budget.
Yeah.
And a good reason, but.
And then they don't, I think there's a lot of voided time, you have voided space, especially when you're talking about photography. Mm-hmm. Like you got all this void space over here. People, when they're off, I want to relax. Okay, well, go relax. But now what are you doing with your child for 1 hour? Mm-hmm. You got 1 hour. But if a football game came on, you'd have 4 hours. Or if your favorite TV show came on, you'd have an hour, and you want your child to just go play with some toys. See, the difference between Chinese limiting how much their children play is that this is the exact concept that I'm talking about. They don't need but 3 hours a week to play a video game. Mm-hmm. All right. If you are in school and you're learning algebra, right? No, you're learning how to add. As a parent, the way the Chinese say it is if you're learning how to add, then why don't we go one step further and throw a variable in there? And why don't you learn how to use that? And let's solve for what we don't know. And if you're working on that instead of playing a damn video game, eventually you'll learn how to make that damn video game. And this is why a communist country puts out more fucking millionaires than any other country. And that's crazy because we live in a democracy. We live in the United States, but yet they have more millionaires. Why is that?
They teach them discipline from an early age.
Exactly.
That's really it. I mean, we have what democracy here, but we have far more freedom. With a lot of freedom and choice, people are usually paralyzed by that, and most of the time, people are going to make their own choice. Like
Most of the time, because you only have to be right 50% of the time to be successful. But over there, it's communist. So if you have an opinion, they give you your opinion. You know, they control all of that. Yeah. But if you listen and follow the government, they live in a society where if you do what the government said do, you come up with the right here and there, and you end up becoming a millionaire. Because they turning them. I watched a whole 2-hour documentary about them. Because it looks like we're gonna probably get in something with them here pretty soon. So I've been trying to learn about them. Learn more.
Who we learning about?
China.
Mandarin for China. Oh. But what do you think of question to you? If you as a man are not working 60 hours a week paid, then you can't expect the best. You can't expect the best.
That's what we were talking about when we got off. It depends on your parents. It just depends on how you were raised and who your parents are and what you know. And because I don't plan on my sons having to work extreme amounts of hours to be successful. I don't want that for them. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But God willing, I'm going to make sure that they have a plan to where they don't have to do that.
Okay.
See, a lot of times you might start out like that, but you don't have to stay like that. Like when I was in the car business, a lot of people don't know some of the most paid people are at the car lot. I know it used to be. It was like a little hidden secret. A lot of people think somebody who sold cars made about 30 or 40,000. Nah, the top ones make well over $100,000 a year, way deep. So you start out, but those are the ones who start out working crazy hours, like all the time. They there all the time. But when you stay at the same dealership like I did, shit. Man, what? I have people come, man, I was selling cars on vacation. Like I was on vacation, I come back and 5.5 cars were sold. Because those are all my half deals because they're in my customer database. They came in, they just bought cars on their own. I mean, average salesman is like 10 cars a month to keep your job. Yeah, like 10 cars a month, 8 cars a month, something like that. I don't know. So I've been going on vacation for like a week, and 4.5 cars are in my name when I get back. 4.5. Oh. And I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there. I got people calling me.
Because you're the man, John.
Nah, it's because I put in a lot of work to do that marketing. Yeah. Like I made a website to sell cars off of before people was even doing it. It was BigJohnsUsedCars.com. I made that up and did it myself, designed it, took the pictures, put the cars on there, and people.
Almost and like you were putting 80 hours a week.
Nigga, I was putting way more than that in there, bro. I get there to the service department at 6:30 in the morning, and I would not leave until 10:30 and 11:30 at night. Every night.
That's the point that I'm trying to make. If you're trying to do anything big, you're going to have to put in that amount of time.
Yeah, at some point, but when you start, you're gonna have to work to get started, but not all things. Even when I started trading, I was working 60 hours a week learning how to trade.
Yeah.
Like so I think learning. for me, having all sons, it has been my goal to not have to have my son start off like that. Knowing that I know somebody like John is pretty much guaranteed that my children will be good. I have my own knowledge that I've gained, and now I know somebody who can give my children a whole nother wealth of information. I don't mind spending my money to educate my kid, so it doesn't even matter what he's going to charge. Mm-hmm. I'm going to pay it to make sure that my children are educated, to make sure that they are prepared. They are going to be leaders of a home, and I want them to be prepared to be leaders. I want them to be prepared to live life. And I don't want my child to have to be an employee. My 14-year-old was saying he wanted to cut grass. I was like, okay, well, we're the neighborhood we live in, these people lazy out here. They don't want to cut grass. Every week they looking for somebody. I said, okay, so I want you to go work for somebody this year and learn how to cut grass. And next year I'll buy you everything you need and make you all the stuff that you need for your business, since I know how to make a business.
There you go.
I mean,
That's the
I'm
whole-
preparing my children now that
Mhm.
you don't have to depend on nobody to make money, that y'all see me working hard, and that you see the fruits of my labor. You see that whatever I say I'm going to do, that I do it. And so when you tell me something that you want to gonna do, I'm going to make sure that you do it. You're going to be set. And so they're going to have a vast knowledge, a lot of confidence, a lot of education. My children are not going to have to work like that.
But I guess it's playing right into exactly what John was saying.
Yeah.
The parent will show the kid just by their actions.
Right. There are 3 books that everybody's child, man, boy or girl, especially young boys, should have and should read and understand and then read it again. It's Cash Flow Quadrant, but first you need Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the things that wealthy people teach their children that poor people don't. That's the whole title. Cash Flow Quadrant, which is the follow-up to that. It talks about how it tells you the differences between people who own businesses and people who work for other people. And then 7 habits of highly successful people. I own all 3 of them books. I read those books several times over. And people slipping, like what Danielle was saying, she knows me and she can use me. I would want her to use me because I'm going to tell you something. There can be times where, like, there was some equipment that I wanted, and it was a pistol that I wanted to get and something else. I traded 6 days, made $1,500, bought all that shit. I didn't pay for it. Fucking stock market paid for it. Didn't hurt me none. Remember that video I made about picking out the money tree every 2 days? That ain't no joke. That wasn't no clickbait. That's real shit. Like, I've lost money. Now we had that conversation. I was at 3,000 losers and I mitigated down to 1,700. But 97% of the time I win. I don't lose like that. I'm up over 280% for the year. And it's just, I know how to trade options. I don't do
Sean,
real risky.
I just want you to know that if I didn't have a spouse and you didn't have a spouse, I'll be on you. Okay?
Oh my God. That's flattering.
I'm
flattering.
so serious.
Wow.
Black Wall Street.
We still got a long show.
I'm gonna hear about it. Hey, did she say? What's she say? Nah, she'll probably smile about it though.
I
watching
kind of did this real quick. Doesn't China have high suicide rates? Chris, you said the U.S. has higher?
Yeah, the U.S. does have higher than
I
China.
think so.
Yeah.
Like a lot higher than
We have
China.
higher suicide rates than
the only thing. I'm not for sure that this whole communist thing just don't work. I'm not for 100% sure about that. I have been, because I've never lived in a communist government, but I'm starting to get a little bit of a feeling of how one might work. And with this whole shot thing, so I don't think it's for me because I've been, I was born into a democratic society. But man, I swear, if you didn't know any better, or if you didn't read and hear about the very bad to communism, man, China, if you watch that documentary, you'd be like, man, I wouldn't mind being Chinese for a little while. I'll be smart as hell and everything else. And tell me what I need to do next. I mean, I don't know. But I mean, it makes me think, it makes me wonder, why are their economies so successful? They're communists. The government controls everything. Why are they so successful? Why are they putting out more millionaires than we are? Why? I need somebody who's an economist and a political science person to tell me why that is. Chris, I'm looking to you for the answers. I'm trying to Chris, chime in.
I'm thinking that's a loaded question because what was it? Ooh, was it to me?
That was you.
What do you think? Well, start here. What do you think about working under a government? Well, working under democracy versus communism.
I will choose democracy and like free market capitalism over communism. Part of the reason is because everything is controlled by the government, and typically too much government control can lead to your job being gone. Your government can say, you know what, we're done with that, and they can cut all funding to your industry, and then all these jobs are lost. It's not based on necessarily supply and demand. It's just based on what the government says. And so if you end up in it's a lot easier, I think, to spiral into more of a dictatorship, and then you have somebody who's able to control the cash flow much easier than they can in a free market capitalist society. We're not completely free market capitalists because of corporations, PACs, lobbying, kind of adding this layer of corruption. But in like a true free market capitalist society, you have this level of competition that's supposed to drive prices down, increase the introduction of products, introduction of supply based on different needs, without a lot of government restrictions and limitations. So,
but now I'm finna really hit you with the hard one.
I just got off work, John. I want to talk about Kevin Samuels.
All right, last one. I'll stop picking on you. But what about? Okay, so in a utopic world, this would work like that, but it doesn't work like that because the more money you have, you control that outcome. You control that, and there's a lot of government restrictions. A whole bunch. You can control how you can essentially control supply and demand. If you've got enough money, you can control that. Just like whales control the stock market when they want to.
How?
You got enough.
In a capitalist society, how would you control supply and demand? Typically, in order to control supply and demand in a capitalist society, you have to control the media, the information, so people don't believe that they want that product. So that is one way. Boom. But then even then, once you start limiting information, then you kind of go from a democracy to a socialist society. And so even then it's not a democracy. So we're talking about like in a true democratic, true free market capitalist society, that probably wouldn't happen.
But
that's a whole level. That's another layer of corruption, you know.
Sounds like the United States.
All right. I ain't saying nothing else. I was just pointing out, and you answered very beautifully, like you always do, because you're real smart. A little damn you or Wikipedia. Now I know where Wikipedia comes from. You're it. So, but
no,
you also,
I could be wrong.
Nah, you're right. Because you know why you're right.
Too far off topic. Not too far off topic.
You're right.
Danielle, I think you're about to say something, and then we're going to go on to the video reaction.
I don't know what I was saying. I'm just over here making smart remarks to these people. I just love them.
I love it. Love it. All right, cool. So we are going to go on to the reaction video for the night. So if y'all could do me a favor, y'all, it's a funny word.
Mute the mics.
Mute the mics. Mute the mics. Okay. Fair use. Fair use.
Ready to be wives or just ready to be side chicks at best?
I would say a lot of women in this society are ready to be side chicks more than wives. I feel like they feel like the benefits are easier to reap than being through a struggle or in an actual committed and serious situation or structure. Maybe a lot of them haven't had any structure or maybe male role models or a male opinion on.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you think the average modern woman is taking life seriously?
No. Definitely not at the degree of City Girls and Hot Girl Summer. I don't think
that's what it really comes. That's because it comes down to. How old is your child?
She's 6.
Okay, so before a child and after a child are two different things.
Yes.
You have to take life a hell of a lot more seriously when you're responsible for the life of somebody else.
What are your thoughts so far?
I mean,
Danielle.
I think that that's the truth. That before you have a kid, not everyone is blessed enough to take life seriously. And when you become pregnant and it hits you that you are going to be molding someone, you are responsible for everything about this person. It's a lot.
Do you think it's a privilege more than a blessing to not have to be serious about life?
I don't know if it's a blessing. It's a blessing if you're like Chris and you're on your stuff before you have to be responsible for someone, then it's a blessing because you're using your time wisely. If you are like myself and you have potential, but you're just having fun, then it's just a privilege. I was just out here enjoying life, you know, and it just so happened that I was preparing. So when I did have to get serious, everything fell in line really quickly because I wasn't out here doing absolutely nothing. I just wasn't living to my highest potential. So, but it's definitely a blessing and a privilege to not have to be responsible, because then you can be in that corporate position like her and work those hours and build your name and do the things that you need to do. Whereas after you have a child in her position, I think that you'll be looking more like a liability, because as the mom, you have to be the person that's going to be taking off for that child. When that child needs someone, that's what you're going to be doing.
Okay. John, you were going to say something?
What was the question? You had it up, but you can pull it down.
No, I didn't have a question yet.
Oh, I forgot, man.
We just watched a video.
Oh, the reaction video. Man, listen. It's on my mind, bro. You got it. I'm old, man. I forgot about that. I thought she was pretty much spot on with the way a lot of modern women are starting to think. I mean, the modern woman wants to provide much distance against being a wife. They want to. I don't want to be a role. I'm not going to be submissive. I'm not. They spend more time saying what they're not going to do. Well, than doing anything positive. So you're not going to get married. Not to a real man. You might get a simp, but you once he broke, and he will go broke quick, then hey, good luck with that. Good luck with all of that. Because what you want is not equaling out to be wife material. What you want is to be a side chick. That's what you want. You don't have to be submissive. You don't have to worry about gender roles. He got a whole wife for that. You just come by, tell him what you need, then y'all meet up and y'all share what y'all need. And then that's how that
You
works.
changed your ringer?
No, that's my messenger.
Oh.
Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with what she says. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I disagree with. I pretty much agree with everything she says. I think that one thing is, though, I think a lot of women don't really, it's not that they want to be side chicks. I think a lot of them tried to be in committed relationships and they maybe it didn't work. A lot of times I feel like it's because they didn't have what it takes or they chose wrong. And so the relationship failed. And so that created a lot of distrust in committed relationships. And being a side chick is easy, temporarily. You know, it doesn't last forever, but eventually you're going to get tired of it and you're going to want somebody who's always going to be there. But, you know, when you're on your grind and you're being this independent woman, you want to do what you want to do. Being a side chick is the easiest thing because no one can break up. It basically puts all the control on you because you feel like you're the one running the relationship, that they only have access to you when you want them to. And then if you have the control, then no one can hurt you. And so I think that's why a lot of women choose to become side chicks. As far as your follow-up question to Danielle, I definitely think it's a privilege. I think it's a privilege to have all of these rights and none of the responsibility. I think it's a privilege to not have to take life seriously, because you can ignore the responsibilities for, like, the responsibilities are going to come, but you're just deferring them maybe 15, 20 years. You deep down, your responsibility is to be a mom, to be a wife for most people, most women. But you defer that as long as you possibly can, and then you're 42, wishing you could have you could have done some things differently. And so the responsibilities are always there, but you have the privilege of deferring them maybe a decade or so.
Yeah, I definitely think that's definitely, when we say freedom, that's exactly what we have here. We have literally the freedom to throw away any kind of problems that we have to deal with. Unlike in third world countries, second world countries, like, they have to deal with it there and then, because they know at any point in time they might, like, they're living every day like it's their last day, because it might just be their last day. Versus here, we know we don't ever like, worrying is never really on our mind. And there's a reason why we say first world problems when we, like, stub our toe or something like that, because it doesn't. We have the luxury. We do have the luxury here. That's why, to not have to worry about any kind of responsibilities or anything, I just say it's just luxury. It's AC system. That's all it is. But let's just hop right back to the video real quick. Mics.
Definitely.
So okay. Go ahead. I don't want to. You only got a few minutes. You have a question that you want to ask me, because I've already asked my question to
Yes,
you.
I do. I actually am in a relationship with my child's father, and
Okay.
have been for 8 years. I definitely have a father figure. He raised me. My mother was in and out of my life, so just trying to hone in the maturity level of the male's perspective
Okay.
on how
What do you want as an outcome with your man?
I would like to be married. Well, we're on our way. We've been engaged for 2 years.
How many children does he have?
We both share one.
Okay. And how old is he?
He's 29.
And you're how old again?
27.
So what's the hold up on marriage?
He says my attitude and the way that I speak, I would say, towards men, which I agree. I feel like seeing my mother, kind of the way she talks to my father, even now they're not together and it's been 20 years.
What are your thoughts? Actually, that's not what I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask that marriage thing. A lot of times, Kevin Samuels says, you should be married already. It should be a year only. You should. Marriage is very much should be the forefront of a lot of things. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah, if that's your goal to get married, it should be how you moving.
He's saying for most people, though. I think he
Most
does say
people want to get married.
marriage is not for everyone.
Well,
I think if that's what your goal is, then that's how you should move.
yeah.
So even if you want kids, you shouldn't consider marriage before kids.
If you don't want to be, then you don't have to consider that.
Okay. So you think
It's not the law to be married
it's not?
before you have a kid.
It's not.
So I think you should be wise, though. If you don't want to be married but you want kids, then you should definitely be responsible and financially ready to take on that responsibility. And even if you don't want to be married, you still want to choose a person that is also financially ready and mature enough to be in a relationship like that. You can be in a partnership and not be married. Just because you're not married don't mean that you're single.
So you don't think marriage should really play any portion when it comes to having a kid?
Only if you want.
I don't know. I kind of
I
disagree
mean,
with that.
she's not saying a single household. She's just saying the status between the two parents.
Just because you're not married don't mean that you're not living in the same household. You could be living like
Mhm.
married people but not
Mhm.
be married. Some people just don't want to be married, but they don't not necessarily want to break up. I mean, I
think
didn't really want to get married at first.
I think the whole idea behind marry before you carry, is that honestly it's security for the wife and the child. That's why divorce courts are so heavily against men. It's security, knowing that like, all right, this guy is going to be there. Now nowadays it's kind of used against men, but that's the whole idea of marriage: marry before you carry.
My
Because you're
father left when I
securing
was 6 months old. Marriage does not guarantee anything. You can leave and not get a divorce.
you. Well, yeah. I mean, your mom could have still divorced him, though, right?
She could have, but I'm just saying that marriage doesn't guarantee anything.
Marriage doesn't. Marriage doesn't guarantee anything, but I think it'll probably give you
What
a little bit more leeway.
what secures you are the two of you, regardless of the status of your relationship. The understanding that you have, the maturity that you have, what you guys are willing to do for each other, and that child has nothing to do with the status of married or single. Married
All right,
people screw up all the time,
I
and
agree with
sometimes
you.
single people get it right.
So here's where I want to shoot back to what John was saying when it comes to like a communist society, and where everything there is very regimented. You have to do this to get this to get this to get this. And I think a lot of times people, like we were saying this earlier, I don't know if you were left. Most of the time, you leave people with a lot of options, they're going to make the wrong option. They're going to make the worst possible options for themselves. Not the worst, but it's not going to be the best option. So having rules like marry before you carry, it gives people a much better line to it's not 100% success rate, but it's a much higher odds of actually having a stable family. So that's the way I look at it, at least. That's why marriage it should be key before having a child. That's why it should be the start. I think how
I
I'm looking at it.
agree.
That's
So, me and my husband was talking about females and what they prefer in men, right? He was saying
okay.
that he was dating this chick. My husband is a nice guy. I like men that are nice men that know how to be polite and respectful. You know, they're not gonna call you out their name. They know how to handle their emotions. Women today don't really look for that. They like the men that are going to be calling them out their name and be extra rude. And so he actually pointed this out to a girl. She's like, well, that's not really what I want. He said, well, that's what you're saying. But the guy that you over there with, you told me he specifically did these things and you still there. So I understand that you're telling me that, but your actions are saying different. So would that be wise for them people to get married? That would not guarantee success.
It wouldn't guarantee
So
success now.
not even a little bit. That would just be putting the kid in a very toxic, permanent situation to grow up emotionally immature, ignored, thinking that abuse is fine. So,
But that's also some I
and
guess
that's majority of our culture right now.
yeah, I agree with that.
I think that's the issue. Like Clement was saying, there should be steps. The issue with marriage now, this idea of modern marriage, is that people aren't thinking about why they're getting married and that you're getting married to get stuff done, not just to be in
Mhm.
love for the rest of your life. You're getting married to get stuff done.
And that's
You
the
know, the best
transaction
example,
part.
yes, the best example of that I can give as like concrete is when you're married, even you pay less in taxes. Like it pushes you down at least one tax bracket when you get married. Like there are so many things, so many areas where you can save money, so many areas where you can benefit, like having the same name. So if something happens, it's a lot easier to have access to this person's records because you have the same last name. Things that you can't really do if you're not married to the person. But when it comes to before you're even married, like that example you gave was perfect. Is that it's it reflects our culture so well, is that before you even get married, there are certain criteria both people should have to meet before they even consider getting married. And this is why a lot of not really arranged marriages, but the marriages where the parents are involved, where they're vetting the man, they're checking his tax returns, they're checking to see if he actually owns a house. They take it seriously, because you can't go up to a woman and say, I'm going to provide for you the same way your dad did, and then no one does a due diligence to make sure he's telling the truth. Because you're seeing it as, I'm giving my daughter to somebody who's gonna replace me. This is my successor. He's following me. He's taking over my role as her protector and her provider. So I need to make sure that he's doing what he needs to do. The issue is that part of it is being missed, where men aren't being vetted to make sure they're going to be good husbands, and women aren't being vetted to make sure they're going to be good wives, and that the marriage is going to be successful, and they're both going to do what they have to do to raise successful kids. Like, you're not getting married to love each other. You're getting married to make sure that your children are better than who you were at the time you got married.
100%
Well, I
agree
guess
with
if
that.
that's how we lived, then marriage would be the better option. That's not how we live.
And that's what's so unfortunate. And I feel like it's causing, it's getting to a point where people are saying they don't want to try because the idea of being married is too scary. They rather just either be alone or be a side chick, instead of trying to take these extra steps and saying, it's the idea of the Disney fantasy. If they can't get their Prince Charming, they don't want to try at all, instead of putting in the work and making sure the other person's putting in the work for the best possible outcome.
John, any comments before we move on to the next question?
Nah, they good. Like, what they said was really on point. I mean, that when you're talking about the way that society is going and the way that they headed, what's wrong with this group? Like, was their parents on drugs or something? Like, what's wrong with them? Like, for real. Like,
I was
Listen.
asking a young lady today, why she feels the way she feels, and she said that she haven't seen anything successful to make her feel like it's possible. I said, so if you saw something that was successful, then would that make you feel more comfortable in doing something like that? She said, yeah, but I've never seen anything successful. I've never seen no successful relationships. I haven't met no men that could actually provide like a man is supposed to. Yeah. Men say that they want to be submitted to, but they don't want to do the work to be
Providers
to be
respected in that view that
you gotta have the accolade. You gotta have the, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, but you have to be able to, like how she said that they vet you and check your tax records, and they got to make sure you own a house. And you can't say you want to be a provider, but you need me to help pay bills, because then when we have kids and I have to sit down, then are we going to be homeless?
Yeah.
Because if we both have to work, then that means we probably not saving no money. So how you want me to submit to you and you can't do your job?
I agree. 100%
You're going to give me a bunch of excuses as to how come stuff costs so much now, and how come we can't do this, and how come I can't do that, instead of just shutting up and going to work. If you shut up and go to work, then perhaps you'll find a woman that'll shut up and submit.
No.
And that's also why I think Kevin Samuels says a lot of the times, for guys, your 20s you shouldn't be focusing on in women in your 20s. It should be just grinding and working. You should
That's
be
true. And being a hoe.
Waking up, working, come back home, like
Being a
free
hoe.
time just me socialize.
But
But
no, you need to be sexing. What the hell? Socializing with a woman.
A little bit.
How to be a
Healthy.
good sex partner.
Maybe he was saying it in a better way.
well, I don't know. That's
Keep it 100.
see.
A
You
healthy
run the
home.
risk. You run the risk of getting. You run the risk of getting something. You run the risk of having a kid.
That's what
Like-
condoms are for.
What?
That's what condoms are for.
That's what,
Condoms break.
Well,
common break, you still run the risk of getting something. Listen, I agree to an extent. I still don't think that is the most useful way for someone. Listen, if you're trying to build your net worth, like, why are you going to be chasing women with your free time as opposed to trying to build a network? I mean, it could still happen simultaneously, but I think women require more time than building your network.
they
John
require
said, because
more
he needs to
time.
come.
Let me tell you something. They require more time. Let me tell you something about a woman, something I've learned. All right. They need time, and they need you to have those skills that I told you about in a lot of different podcasts before, and they will leave your high value ass and step out
What
on
skills?
you.
What skills you talking about?
Listening
What skills you
skills.
talking about?
Listening skills is sexy. Being good in bed makes them damn listening skills that much more tight. Being able to anticipate her needs because you listen so well, on top of the fact that you actually hear her and when she talk, and you can put it down in bed. See, you learn that being a hoe. Hoes know how to do that. And you know how to be funny and charming off, just not like off script. You just learn how to do it. And you learn how to adapt to a lot of different women because you've been with a lot of different women. And you have this one particular woman that you only focus on. Shit, you have her crazy as hell about you. Yeah, and that's the only way you're gonna learn is by being. If you ain't gotta sleep with everybody, but you need to be exposed to them. Remember that whole concept I told you about, Baskin Robbins theory? That's my theory. When you are with the same person for a long time, y'all are susceptible to cheat. And my homeboy, another victim, got cheated on. They look like the fucking model couple. Model. I'm talking about happy house, went him through the grind, all of that. But when they moved and they went to a bigger city, she stepped out first, he stepped out second, then she stepped out again. I said, nigga, y'all just call it quits. Y'all just gotta let that go. Like, y'all are just taking turns cheating on each other. But they've been together for 22 years. And they just turned 40. Half his life he been with her. Half of his life. He
Was
been
that
with that woman.
Do you know if that was the only man she's also only been with?
Yeah, they was each other's first, right out of high school. No experience with nobody else. And she having, and guess what? The other part to that theory, the one that she cheated on with, she want his husband, but she having a hard damn time of letting that thing go. Because he was experienced. He knew what he was doing. So she's saying, don't divorce me. But he's coming over there to see her, and dude leaving. He's like, why is that? And I'm sorry, but he said, why is that, man? I said, nigga, you putting that thing down good. What you mean? Why is that? You know why it is. Don't ask me no question you already know the answer to. And you definitely didn't need me to reinforce it, but I'm sorry. That's what it is. It ain't about love at this point. She knows it. Bro, she knows you. She been with you for 20 plus years. Y'all have children together. Why else would you think that she don't want to divorce you, but she don't want to let him go? The sex. Because he was a hoe in his younger days. I rest. State rest. Nothing
Put
wrong.
them damn cancer sticks down.
Use the condom. That's all I can tell you. Because a woman will step out. And this man makes 6 figures, built a business from ground up, built the house that she lives in. And what's your point, John? He lacks in some areas. Mm-hmm. Nice guy, great guy, cool. Would not cheat at first on his wife for nothing in the world. But she cheated first because he was lacking in some areas.
That's fair. That's fair. Now, her cheating is not fair, but, actually, you know what? It is fair.
It happens, bro.
There's no fairness in love and war. There's no fairness in love and war.
Nah, you need that practice. Men need practice.
Yeah.
Men need practice. You got to get them skills right, man. Them the main skills that we
agree with
about.
Still to an extent.
Hard about.
I still think your network is a little bit more important. I don't know.
You can
You
have
better go find you a woman, Clement.
listen. You
Get
can
some
network,
practice.
bro. You can network
We'll talk
and
off
have
script.
sex and date other women. Like why can't you do both? My networking ain't got nothing to do with over. Matter of fact, do you know some of the most influential people that can really put you into a network are women?
That's true. That is
When
true.
I told Dope, my whole team was women. I didn't mess with no dudes. Them niggas will get you put in prison. They don't want to see you ball out, but
Too
the
much
women
ego.
do. Because the more money you make and they're around you, guess what you're gonna do? They know they can hit you
Break
up.
'em all.
Let me get 100. Bet. Let me get this. Bet. So they want to see you grind. They will build you, boy. I'm talking about they will get behind your ass. But a dude, he don't want to see that. What are you doing that I ain't doing right? I ought to tell him the nigga. Let me get caught up. I'm gonna let him know who he is. That's how they think. I don't want that around me. Women, you can get some great networking through women. Promise you. Promise you. And if you think her word don't go a lot longer, stronger than another man, you crazy as hell. Think about the man that's probably going to be the one you trying to get connected to as a man. The best route to him is a damn woman. What the hell? Why you think a woman
The hell?
happen? Because a woman can get next to any damn man. That is her damn defense mechanism, manipulation. They born with it. Babies, even girl babies, cry differently to make you treat them different. They poke their lip out. They curl it. They make these different faces when they cry. They cry a different way. They cry different with their daddy than they do with their mama. Come on, man. This is basic development 101. What else you want to know?
Yeah. Agree and disagree. Agree and disagree. Agree and disagree. Let's just say that. But on to the next question of the night. Did mothers of this generation fail their daughters in teaching wife skills?
Hell yeah.
Are wife skills even needed?
Yeah.
John, you want to
Yeah.
the question?
Man, the women, the mothers of this, I don't know if they was on drugs or they just gave up. I don't know what happened. The men of their generation was that bad, but the children that they put out, boy, are just, I don't know what to say about them, man. They have no young lady today is what prompted me to say the conversation. I want you to listen to this closely. She outside on speakerphone loud. I can hear that she talking to a dude. And I can hear that the relationship is her dude. Like you can just tell because that's her dude. So I was just bought 2 packs of cigarettes and I'm going to the car. And she asked me to buy, can she buy a cigarette? I said, no, I'll give you a couple of cigarettes. And she got off the phone with him. And I was like, let me ask you a question. While I was unpacking the thing, giving it to him, I said, your dude let you go to work with you ain't got no cigarettes? And she was like, I ain't dependent on no man. I said, but you get cigarettes from a man. That don't make sense. And she said, you know what? You can just, I said, no, I'm going to give you the cigarettes. I'm just asking you a question. Well, I mean, he ain't working. Was he working when you met him? Nah, but if things will get better, the man be trying to keep us down. I said, ain't no man keeping no damn body down. I said, man, I said, you know what? When I got some time and you see me, we need to have that conversation. So we'll smoke one with me then. I said, well, I bet. So we sitting there and I'm giving her the blueprint on what a man is supposed to do. I said, my time, you ain't come with a job. I can't date you yet. You let me know when you working. You at work and he's at home at his house. Y'all don't live together. You don't have cigarettes. But where did that make sense at? Where did that make sense? And she looked down. I said, you got low self-esteem. You real cute. What's wrong with you? I mean, nothing wrong with me, but I ain't, my dad wasn't nowhere around, so I ain't never really seen nothing. Like my mama don't talk to me about this. Stuff like this. I was like, okay, all right. I mean, you can do better. You need to do better. I know I can't. I said, nah, make me believe, show me. Because you at work, you ain't got cigarettes cause for whatever reason. That he at home not working and y'all been together for a year and he ain't worked in a whole year, that means he's comfortable with not working. Now, man, don't think like that. Man, I lose I don't work now, but I get money. You know what I'm saying? I'm trading. I'm not worried about that. But this man don't do nothing. He get money from her. Like, that's crazy as hell. And the thing about it is, a lot of girls are like that.
That's the normal.
That's a thing. That is a thing, and that is retarded. Like, that is retarded. If I was a woman, I promise you it wouldn't be me. Shit, I'll be single and free. You ain't finna tell me nothing, nigga. You can't question me. Are you serious right now? When you get a job, then maybe I can answer some questions. But until then, don't worry about where I've been. Don't worry about who I talk to. Don't worry about none of that at all. I'm good.
Period.
You can't ask no damn question sitting around here broke. You ain't got no damn mom up here asking cigarettes from a whole nother dude. I can't stand that shit. You'll be a cute, and you up here bombing cigarettes from somebody, and you got a whole nigga at home, and he got the nerve to ask you who you talking to. What? Get a job. Don't worry about who she talking to you. Look, I ain't got nobody. I'll take her ass from you. She like I got somebody. I was thinking I'll take her just because I can. Man, young girl. Yeah. You didn't teach them nothing.
Danielle. Did the mothers of this generation fail their daughters in teaching wife skills? Are wife skills needed?
Yes, they failed. Yes, they're needed.
Elaborate, please.
I mean, you got to know how to be a wife. You have to know what it takes to be with a man if that's what you want, and most of the women do. And so since they don't know, they're willing to do anything, like be with a man that don't have a job, give him money. One of my friends, I was at her house, and she had me questioning if I'd be having my husband do too much. Because, like, she has 5 kids. 3 of them are, like, older, and 2 of them are younger. And she does hair from home. While she doing the hair, she changing diapers. She cooking food. After she got done doing the hair, she wanted to barbecue. So she was seasoning the meat to go put it on the grill. All the while, her man was sitting on the porch with his friend, like, smoking. And I was just like, why are you doing all this? Like, why is he here if he's not going to? He can't even change the diapers of the kids that are his. He can't keep them out your face so that you can at least get done working sooner. He can't feed them or make sure you got something to eat while you working. He can't start the grill and put the meat on the grill after you season it. Like, y'all not going to tag team anything. You're just going to do it all and then make him a plate and give it. Like, he doesn't work. He doesn't pay a bill. She could put him out. He would be homeless. Like, what is you there for? When she first got with him, I was like, well, you seem like you happy. Is he different? Is he different from the last person? She's like, yeah, he different. I was like, oh, okay, where he work? He don't got no job right now. I was like, oh, okay. What kind of car he got? Oh, he don't got no car right now. I was like, okay. Like, with those 2 questions, I didn't have any more questions because she is my friend. And
what other question can you have that you could say no to?
we done. Like, you
yeah.
we covered all the hot spots.
Like, why doesn't he have a job? Like, when was the last time he had a job? Like, okay, so if he don't have a job, is he hustling then? Like, do he help you pay any bills? Like, do he do anything? This was before she had the kid. And, like, none of those answers were answered correctly, but apparently he could have sex really well, and she doesn't want to be alone. So she was willing to accept what she was willing to accept. So, yeah, she was failed because she doesn't know how to use a man, how to have a man be useful.
She
My
ain't
husband,
requiring him to be a husband. She's not requiring him.
my husband, I literally left out of her house and went on the porch and called my husband, asked like, do I be asking you to do too much? I mean, because I be having him do every damn thing.
You mean you
I
questioning
mean,
the whole relationship?
listen, I mean, I had this man do everything. This motherfucker be running in circles, okay? And while he running in circles, he hop on his foot. I mean, and so I was like, do I be having you do too much? Like, do I be asking you to? He's like, nah, you need me to do something else. I mean, I don't know. You just, and it's not even necessarily what my mother taught me, like step by step. I just saw her in these long-term relationships with men that would do anything for her. With men that, even though they are not with her now, if I was to see them anyway, they would do anything for me. They haven't been with my mother, and she was with her last husband for 22 years. But not even if I ran into this man that raised me from 9 to 16 in the club, he came up behind me trying to dance. I almost started fighting his ass. What the fuck is you doing up on me? But before I could turn around and swing, he's like, it's me. I'm like, oh, okay. So we was talking or whatever. So at the end of the night, I had locked my dang on keys in the car. He came outside. He sat with me until AAA came. I mean, it's simple, but still, if it was anything else I needed, he's willing to do whatever I need based off of the strength that he had a relationship with my mother, and they had a good relationship, even though it was decades ago. So
yeah, that's wife skills.
I've not actually had a full-fledged relationship with anybody but my husband, but the men I've dated prior to him, I could call. And if I need anything, they will be willing to help me. I don't know.
What is this growing trend of like women dating the bums? Like, what's up with that?
Gotta ask the woman to date the bums now. We don't date bums.
It's like they don't have no self-esteem.
Self-esteem, but like it's also common sense though. Like
you would think it's common sense, but damn it, it's too much of it. I mean, golly. And then I can see if you're a girl, I can't see it. So I don't mean it like how it came out, but it would be more understandable like if you was balling out of damn control, right? And then it just goes to this type woman here just wants to take on the role of a man. That's all that is. And wants to make this dude the girl, basically, in the relationship. But you broke and he broke? Why? Two broke folks don't match. That ain't who you...
That's common, man. Like what Danielle was just saying, telling that story. Like, I mean, thankfully they got out of that. But I don't know. I don't understand it. Chris, you were going to say something?
Yeah. So my feminine coach explains it as you shape your reality, sort of. So what you know, you project onto the world. And a good analogy is, have you guys ever shopped around for a car, like done research on a car before buying it? And you go out and you start seeing this car everywhere. Like you see it more. It seems like you see it more now than you did before you start doing the research on it.
Yeah.
Well, it's because you've gained interest in this car or you somehow attracted this car. And it's the same thing with women and men. Because I always wondered why women always say like all these black men are dusties. And I'm like, where are these dusties? I'm not seeing them, you know? Like I do not see them. My brothers are great. My father is great. Every man that I've dated is great. Like I don't see them. But for those women, that's what they attract. They believe that they exist, and that's all they can see. It's like when you're shopping for that new car, even though all these amazing cars exist around it, the only one that you notice is that car. And that's how it is for these women. That's literally what they attract, because they weren't taught how to properly value themselves. And this goes even like when it comes to the wife skills, that particular question, it's not only that mothers aren't teaching their daughters wife skills, they're not teaching them how to be valuable women. You know, women are sleeping with men because they look good. And I always say looks are free. We're giving your whole body in exchange for something that's free. If you want to look at him, take a picture. Don't have sex with him. You know, don't spend your time on him, because that's not free. And if you're willing to exchange those in these valuable things for that, something that's free, you're saying that you're not worth anything. That's literally what you're saying in that transaction. And that, like, these life skills are needed, but you can't even get there until you're able to value yourself, because your life skills end up becoming or evolving into you doing everything in the relationship, because you didn't even know how to choose the right person, because you're only attracting bums to you. That's it. This topic bothers me a lot because I see this often. Your first question, also this question, if mothers have failed their daughters. And the issue with that is that all these daughters, even though the mothers may tell them, find a good man, or they tell you, do you first, grow, be you, make sure you know yourself first before you settle down with a man. They don't teach them how to take care of themselves, how to value themselves before they go into these relationships. They don't know what that looks like. And what they're doing, their mothers are telling them this, they're seeing their mothers work all the time, do everything on their own. And they go into these relationships and they feel like that's normal. They feel like doing everything is normal. And it's not. It's unfortunate. It's an endless cycle.
Danielle, your friend that got with the guy that had nothing, did she also come from a single mother household, or do you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Question.
Her mom and dad were not together. Her dad was in her life, but her dad is a bum. Her dad is her son. Her dad is her son. Like, literally, like, he didn't live with her and everything. And
wow.
Yep. And that explains it. There it is right there. Because women tend to marry their fathers.
And I had asked her, like, what is wrong? Like, don't you know that you deserve more? I'm like, hell, even my husband be pissed at your choice. He says you the bomb and you deserve more. My husband feels like you deserve more, ma'am. Like, if hearing it from a female is not enough, then hear it from him. He feels like you deserve more. We feel like you deserve more. I was like, the next time you're choosing somebody, I want to choose your person for you. I don't want you doing the choosing.
Do she live close to the hood or in the hood? I knew it.
But I met my husband in the hood. Every man I didn't met, well, not all of them.
This is the thing that me and Clement got this off topic and something that we've been talking about. I've been telling them stuff about hood chicks. Hood chicks are good chicks. They misunderstood.
She the bomb.
I already know. I'm telling you, I already know. It's a lot of negative stereotypes that surrounding hood chicks, and I'm like, if you ain't never dated one, shit, you better look out. They don't follow this modern day bullshit too much. Not for real. Like if she had a dude who he worked, let's say this dude wasn't nowhere around, and a dude wanted to court her, liked her, vibe with her, this, that, and the third. Could you imagine? I don't know in her particularly, but let's just say she could get past the whole man not working thing. She's doing all of these things naturally for a guy who don't work at all. Like he just don't work. But
if
then
she ran into a man that worked,
she might not know how to take him.
She wouldn't know how to take him. He would have to work very, very hard just because her reality is that man let you down. And so she would be too fearful to even go for a man that'll even treat her correctly because she would think that it's fake. She would think that what he doing is not going to last. She would think that he is going to turn out to be like the other men when that's not the truth. And I think I would love to learn how to teach those women that that's not true. But I'm not successful in that. I don't know how to do that.
Not yet. All right. So real quick, I want to do a quick reaction video spinning off of what we were just talking about. This is from a UK YouTuber, King Riches. One of the guys, he's pretty fun to watch, but fair use, King Riches, fair use.
So basically, I'll tell you what the issue is. It's like every single guy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I am one of those girls that are attracted to hood guys, but I admit it. It's just the way they like. I can't lie. She's their persona, and like they're just so confident. And obviously, it's just like sometimes you just want someone to be like, "Yo, sit down." And you're like, "Okay." It's just the way they talk to you. It's sometimes it's so like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
so have you? All right. So have you always been attracted to like thugs?
Well, yeah, I guess so. Like, I would say that, like, well, no, I don't think I'm attracted to them. Like, they're cool, whatever, but it's just.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
You're 26 and you're still talking about dating thugs?
No, I don't. That's what I'm saying. I've left that lifestyle alone.
When?
Like,
How long ago? How long ago did you leave that lifestyle?
I left that lifestyle probably like 4 years ago or 3 years ago. Once I dealt with one waste man, and he literally just made me realize that I shouldn't be dealing with guys like that. Like I did go through my phase and stuff, but now I'm out of the phase.
So let me get okay. So let's say you got in the game at 18, yeah, when you're legal, yeah. So you got in the game at 18, and for 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years, you was dating these kind of boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, don't you think that's kind of mad? Like, how many relationships did you have in that time?
Probably like realistically from 18, like serious relationships, probably like 4.
You had 4. So you had the relationship with a thug every year, different thug.
They weren't. No, they weren't. Listen,
go on.
You know what? It's not that I was having a relationship every single year with one. It's just that what it really was is that, like, well, you see, sometimes you meet them, like, they might be a little bit hood, but they're not proper hood, if you get what I'm saying. Like, they're not, like, I can't explain, like, what I'm trying to say. Basically,
let me say this to you, yeah? What was the actual things that attracted you in the beginning, like, before you got to know them? Like, what was the things that made you think, yeah, I'm gonna date him, and then I'm gonna give him my box?
Okay. I think what it was is like, I'm not gonna lie, I do like alpha males. Like, I tend to be attracted to guys that are like very dominant, and like when they like, I'm not saying that I want, like, as you would say, I don't want the guy that everybody else wants. I want my guys to be quiet. I like my guys laid back and out of a hoe's face. So I don't like my guys everywhere. I like my guy to be just,
no, but
like,
you like thugs. So the fact of the matter is, you like boys that are in like street life, though. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Not necessarily street life, though. Like, they don't have to be thugs that are on the streets.
CJ, you came in at a good time.
What up, CJ?
What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, bro?
I always feel so safe when I got the 2 nurses on here and shit. I'm like, like, what's going on with me over here, bro? What's happening?
What's up?
Man.
CJ, what's going on, man? What did you think of that video? Or actually, did you have anything to say to what we were talking about, the video? Questions?
Yeah, I've been listening, and I was listening to what the Bloom and Ebony was saying, and I agree 100%. And now more than ever, I'm starting to realize that with these women, and I can't just blame them, and I can't just necessarily put all the blame on the mothers, because both parents play a part. But with these women being so ill prepared, a lot of these guys are now saying, what is the point of getting married? Look what we have to choose from out here.
I swear.
Like,
I swear, bro.
If I had I got a younger brother, but if my younger brother came to me and said, should I get married? I would honestly have to advise him against it at this point in time, because the streets, it's just too many of these women out here for the streets. I was watching KS's program. I got time for that. Man, I'm telling you, I was watching KS's program last night. A 27-year-old woman said that she got dumped by a high-value guy. She got married to another guy. She wants to get divorced.
I just watched that.
To get back with the guy.
She didn't want to get divorced. She was still in the marriage. She wasn't even talking about divorce. She never said
she told him she wanted to divorce him. She said, I want to leave him to get back with the ex-boyfriend.
She's still currently in that relationship.
If that was the first time I watched this show, I would think that was a fake call. I would have thought that was a fake call. And if somebody that I know would have watched that, and if I would have watched that already not feeling good about marriage, I would be like, what the F is the point of getting married? I might as well do my thing and get my money. You dig what I'm saying? And it's hard for me to even justify it. To say, if somebody came to me and said, well, should I get married? Should I get married? My honest answer would be, I don't know. Because everybody don't hit the lottery and find a good one. It's hard out here. Like, it is hard out here. Like, and that video just really, it blew my mind. I've heard a lot of crazy stuff, y'all. But that blew me back. I had to stop my man.
She was real pretty. She was really pretty too. Like, she was really pretty. And I was like, wow, everything she was saying was good. And then I heard, oh, but I still have a man. And I was just like, wait a minute. Like, that really like threw the whole thing off. Because like, you're still with a man right now. Because she was saying all the right things. Like, oh, I've been working on myself. Like, I definitely want to try to get this man back. He was high value. I messed up, da-da-da. And it's like, okay, but I'm currently married. Right? I did the work and I'm currently married. And it's like, wait, you came on live with millions of people watching. This is going to be, broadcasted everywhere. And you're happily saying, I want to go.
He about to get a divorce because his friends going to see that.
Bro, like, I don't know. That was wild, bro.
That was so embarrassing. And I felt so bad because she was like, well, he's a pipe welder. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know pipe welders make a lot of money?
A lot. Ooh, a lot.
Like, how dare you? Oh, he's just a pipe welder. This is the mess. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm trying to be like Chris. But this is the mess that not being prepared properly by your parents has prepared you for, because this young lady sadly thinks that she is right. She don't think there's nothing wrong with what she's saying.
And nobody tried to correct her?
Clearly not. I was so flabbergasted. And he said, can you imagine what would happen if the genders were reversed? This was flipped. And a man said the same thing, he will be crucified. Crucified.
You know what she said though? Her answer was, people would just think that he's someone that knows what he wants. She didn't see a single problem with it.
Wow.
There was no issue with it at all in her head.
Wow. Yeah.
I fear for this next generation. Like, I really fear for this next, like, Danny, your sons, I fear for their generation. I really do. I am scared for them because of how these women are being raised. And now we got to ask, are you really a woman? Are you not? Can we check? Like, you don't know. Like, my heart really goes out to the next generation because this is madness, man. No, we are not prepared. Like, no life skills, no nothing. Of course, not everybody, but I was just like, bro, this is getting out of control.
Okay, so now, aside from wife skills, do you think there's a lot of men out here that can provide?
What do you mean by providing?
That can be proper providers enough to hold a family.
Like, where the woman doesn't have to work?
Or she has to work minimally, even a part-time. Do you think there's a lot of that?
I want to say yes. I really do want to say yes, but I can't say yes because I don't know many men like that. So I understand that some of these women are forced into positions. I don't know many men like that. I mean, they say they use that 10% number for a reason, and the average apartment in America is $1,400 per month. That's average. That's a lot of money to a lot of people, you know. So I would have to say no on that question. I don't think a lot of men are prepared. Are they capable? I think they may be capable, but are they prepared to? No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So in all reality, actuality, both sides are unprepared.
Yes. And it's sad. It's really sad because I hear what some of these women have to deal with too. And I'd be like, wow. So, and I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at the women because I'm not in the dude. So I'm looking at the women's perspective. I'm looking at it from the male perspective. And I'm just like, insane. Like that caller really just blew me back. And I've heard some wild stuff before. And even Kevin said, like, this is the worst call I've ever had.
Yep. Yo, it killed me because I was like, wow, she was beautiful. Like she really was.
Yeah.
And then
she was
when she said what?
Adjustable 8.
Her?
She
was probably an 8. I would say an 8. She was beautiful. But yeah, like the second I heard all that, I was like, nah, she's disgusting. Like I can't even. She was instantly unattractive. Like
women like that make it so hard for the real women that do want to get into real marriages and relationships.
Ooh, that is a good question.
Because you'll get a 3 who wants to act like that girl.
But see, now let me ask you this to everyone on the panel, actually. Because those women are boasted up so much more, is it given a false sense of reality that that's every woman now?
Wait, what? Because what women are boasted up so much?
So like all like with TikTok, with YouTube, like with Kevin Samuels, a woman like that, you're literally seeing the worst of women portraying themselves. Is that giving us a false sense of reality that that's all women, or is that really just what is out there?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think that's a false sense of reality. I think it's I'm not gonna say it's all. I'm not gonna even say it's most, but I think it's a good portion of females that really believe this stuff. And like when you have so much influence, when you have people that have those platforms, not just Kevin Samuels, but when you had the TikTokers and the IGs and the pop culture out there, like
everything,
these young girls start to believe it.
Like, have you not noticed what? Okay, look at some of those girls who have the real big platforms. They have cash apps on there. Like, they have cash apps on there.
Well, I got a cash app on mine, so I ain't hating on that.
No, listen.
No.
These girls on TikTok be begging for money, like they telling you to go there. They ain't just sitting it there quietly. And I ain't never heard you advertise your cash app. I ran out of gas today. I ain't had this and that and blah blah blah. Yeah, I'm like,
but you know, on
somebody's not teaching you. So why would you put yourself out there like that? And you got like 1 million and something followers.
On dating apps, most women have their Cash App or Venmo or something like that. Yeah,
really. Yeah. It's been years since I've been on a dating app, so I don't know.
Yeah,
bro,
they got it on there.
Never been on a date now.
You know what? I'm with CJ on this, bro. I feel sorry for my sons and them. And because you know what's sad? It's because these women gonna have kids, boy. And guess what they gonna teach them? God, it get worse. It just gets worse.
It just says this is the beginning.
But
the children that they have are the kids that Danielle's son's gonna be running into.
I can't just blame the women though.
Okay, because the women that they date and go run into me.
Seriously, like my heart goes out. I'm just so scared for these young boys and these young girls, man, because they think this is okay. And you know, younger guys, they just trying to get some. They gonna do whatever it takes. When you young like that, you just trying to get some, or you just trying to be up under a chick. So you gonna do whatever you feel that you need to do, and they gonna believe that this is real. Like, wow. And then the standard, like, can you imagine a man who's a pipe fitter have to work hard to make that kind of money? And she says he's just a pipe fitter. That's what that's what pisses me off. When a man got to go out here and work so hard to become the best of the best, and you say, well, he's just this, he's just that. Listen, I took a pipe fitting class. That crap wasn't easy.
No, it's not.
Dang, CJ, you didn't try every trade. It's the try.
Hey,
I had to follow.
You know, I went to a pipe shop and I worked there for 1 minute and 47 seconds. That's all I could stand. He brought them damn fittings over that motherfucker, and I went straight to the car lot. I said, I can't do this shit. This is it was like 195,000 degrees in that bitch, and this thing was heavy as hell. And I was like, I'm out. I went and changed. I got called for another interview at the car lot, and I was there, baby. 1 minute.
Lighting up a cigarette when you hit the door.
Hey, Clement, I did see the video, though, if I can comment on whatever question you about to ask. I saw that video you just played.
Yeah,
I did have
let me give a quick shout out to Stanley, my guy over here. The good news is that, shout out to Stanley. He actually just bought his first property by me. Like, cool kid.
Shout out to Stanley.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Stanley.
The good news is that the younger generation doesn't have to date everyone. You only have to get it right once. The landscape just makes it harder, but not impossible. Definitely harder.
He's optimistic about it.
Yeah.
You guys have to be real cautious. I mean, you guys are gonna have to be real cautious. And I'm glad we're having this topic because my dad, who's my son's granddad, asked him, Donovan, you don't really be trying to date or nothing. You 18, what's going on? He said, I ain't found nothing worth dating. He said these girls either want to be boys, acting like a boy, don't know they introduce if you introduce him and tell him what your pronouns are, he just walks off. Like he don't want to hear that shit. He just goes the other way. You know, I'm like, what's wrong with that, son? He looks at me and goes back to gaming. So because he already know how I feel about it, and he feels the exact same way. So man, I ain't dealing with this. So he knows right now that he don't have a lot to choose from. And he's just sitting back chilling, and that's bad. And he 18, so he.
CJ, what were you gonna say about King Riches?
Well, I want to know if you were gonna ask a question first.
Yeah.
No. Your thought.
Okay.
Just because we're talking about.
He was talking about the hood dude, and women being attracted to the hood dude and everything.
They attracted to them dudes.
And I don't think it's so much that they're hood, what they're attracted to, but cats that are perceived as squares and everything, they're boring. They are boring for the most part. Hood dudes are exciting, quote unquote. Hood dudes, they're exciting, and they give women that excitement. And see, I've always looked at it like this. If you could be a guy who's well off financially, legally, with the excitement, and you in shape, and you got all that built into one, the world is yours. You dig what I'm saying? Like the world is literally yours. And that's the one thing about the hood dude. They put themselves, I hate saying that term, the hood dude, but that's one thing about them. A lot of them are very selfish. They put themselves first, as they should. They don't let no they don't be caring. On to the next one. If she ain't feeling it, it's on to the next one. Bye.
And they can pick up on that, man. And those are gonna be the dudes that's not always available. They might cut you short. You might call them, see what they doing, and be like, I can't talk right now. Let me hit you back. And they ain't fixing to be no long ass explanations. They're gonna hang up the damn phone because they trying to get money or they trying to do something. And then now she's anticipating when he's gonna call. and she's sitting there, and then he do call up, and now she happy to hear from him. And if she say something like, so what, girl, I'm trying to get that money, man. Don't be questioning me like that. For real, what's up? I'm coming through or what? Yeah, come on over, blah, 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 but whatever. And they just exciting, and they assertive. They got a certain swagger about them. And most of them, yeah,
they are indifferent. They don't care
they're indifferent. She knows that other girls want him. She know that, so she don't really want to let him go. He probably handle it. He probably take care of her. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, especially if they hustling, they do take. I mean, they take care, especially they baby mama, man. Baby mamas in the hood, a baby mama is like, I don't know if a wife is stronger than a baby mama than that dynamic. I'm being serious right now. Like, I'm not sure a wife is stronger than a baby mama. Remember, in a while back, I said that I think that there is a difference in the socio economic statuses, that there may be a difference in how that the pyramid of needs work, because baby mama is a title. Like, that's a title. Niggas go to prison for baby mamas. Like, you don't talk about my baby mama. You don't put your hands on my baby. Like, dude ain't been with her for 3 years, but they got a 3-year-old, they got a 4 or 5-year-old son or something like that. And she get with this other dude and he put his hands on her. Dude, he gonna come see about you. And if you don't, then you frowned upon by the rest of that population. Like, how you gonna let this man put his hands on your baby mama? But if you go to a middle class society, that's none of your business. She made bad choices. You see what I'm saying? So the mindset is like different.
Yeah,
it's like totally different. So that's what made me wonder about that. I wonder if what else is different.
I like my chicks with a pinch of hood. Like, that's what I like about Didi.
Why, CJ?
A little sprinkle in.
Why did you tell us why you like a pinch of hood, CJ?
Because growing up in that environment, that still was something that was exciting to me. But I need somebody that can blend in all areas, because we're not just going to be in the hood. We're going to be around all different kinds of people. So if you can't blend in, then you're of no use. And that's what I like about Didi, because Didi knows how to adapt. She knows how to talk, but she's still a girl from the west side of Detroit. You know what I'm saying? It'll come out when it needs to come out. But it's not that I can't take her nowhere. I can take her in front of all different kind of people. But I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Every now and then I like my dose of ratchetness, but not to the point to where it's not overbearing. I like, give me a sprinkle of hood and I'm good. I'm good.
How loyal?
Shout out to Didi, man. Shout out to Didi.
Yeah. How loyal a hood chick, CJ?
How loyal? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's based on a woman. I don't think that's based on where she's from, because there's some hood chicks that are loyal and some girls in the suburbs that are loyal, and there's some suburban girls that are disloyal, and there's some hood chicks that are disloyal. So I think that just depends on the woman.
All right.
So I mean, yeah, that depends, because I done seen hood chicks smash they baby daddy's homie once they done went to jail. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, no, I have seen that.
But I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. I'm about to get back to work.
DJ, listen, shout out to you, man. Hold on, give me a second. Let me put you up real quick. And there.
Hey man, shout out to the CKQ podcast. Good show. It's been keeping me very entertained at work, dealing with these people. I appreciate the comments and all that good stuff. Shout out to John, Ebony, Danny, and CKQ. Y'all go check out the High Value Nurse on YouTube, man. We just dropping like hotcakes. So I'm gonna holler at y'all in a minute.
See you putting that work, bro. Appreciate you.
Right to. Peace.
Later, peace.
I love it. Okay. So let's get back to quick reaction.
On road, but they have to have mannerisms and like I like him to have a little bit characteristics of like maybe, you know.
So you don't. So basically, you don't mind if he's a guy who's just faking the image.
No, like he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be on road, like stealing people's purses and stuff like that.
Oh, you
But
don't mind. So you don't mind. He can be stealing people's purses, but if he's not, you don't mind as long as he acts like someone that steals people's purses.
No, like he just has to be confident and not be a dickhead. Like I don't want to be walking on the street and someone's badding me up and you're just standing there doing
No, but
nothing.
this is the thing. This is the thing, yeah. Like this is the thing where a lot of you girls get it so up. Like a guy can be a legit guy, like that does the right thing and still protect you. Like a guy doesn't have to be a career criminal to protect you. Like that's a lie. That's something. That's that that has been programmed in music and black movies. That's what we've been programmed to believe.
That's true though. That is actually true. Cause like now I'm just like it's so hard because like now I've got like really nice, good guys around me and stuff. Like they're really sweet, and it's just honestly they're so nice, yeah. But the problem is I just need that fire still, because I feel like I need.
You want a guy that's gonna like you get me, put you in your place. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, that's all I'm asking.
But why do you need to be put in your place? Why can't you just behave yourself?
Because I realized that with me in relationships, I don't know if it's because of my past, but I feel like I like to be. I don't know if that's
your past is dating thugs. It is because your past is dating thugs. So now you're calibrated to that. Because think about what you've said. You said from 18 to 22 or 23, you've been dating this type of guy who acts this certain type of way. So now you're programmed to that. So if you meet a guy who doesn't put you in your place, like you're saying, you look at him as just nothing. He's just anything. Like, do you know what I mean? But that guy actually is treating you with respect, like you're actually a human being and not a piece of meat. But go on. Because I could see like, look, that's you in your avatar, yeah?
Yeah.
You're a good-looking girl. You're a good-looking black girl. Like you could get any guy. You see what I'm saying? Like if I saw you, I would move to you, but probably you'd be on it because I have that image in it, that persona. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if a nice guy came up to you, a guy that's not even like, I don't even like saying nice guy, just a normal dude, yeah, who's not on craziness, he might be the right guy for you, but because you've messed around, thrown your box around with thugs, you're kind of in a bad position now, because you won't never respect a guy that's just being normal with you.
Yeah, that's.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, he makes some good points, but here's the thing. This shit been around for way before now. Women like the bad boy, period. They just do. They attracted to him some kind of way. A lot of women. I ain't gonna say all, but a lot. And when they say
females
to put them in a place, they don't necessarily mean put it in a place. It means what the translation to is not let me run over you, because I've got the propensity to run over you if you a real nice guy and you a yes man. I will run over you, like I will push to the limit.
What do you think of what he said to her when it's like, you went after these certain types of guys, so if you went after too much of the thug guys, any other guy, any normal regular guy just will not cut it anymore?
He ain't gonna cut it. It's not gonna happen. Like I'm telling you, that is once you hang out with that kind of guy for a long time, it's gonna have to take something adverse to get you away from that. Either you was in love with him and he got sent to prison for life, or you almost was killed being around him. But if don't nothing really bad happen, you just go to jail for a little bit, I don't think you're going to, because that's a whole different guy.
Oh, Clement's mommy is on here. I just saw it. Hi, Clement's mommy.
Tu madre, yes.
She on her? I ain't see her.
Shout out to
You
her.
didn't just say it said greetings, everyone.
Yeah.
Hey.
Shout out to her. Always supporting. Chris, what do you think? What do you think of the video?
I agree with him. So I see it as when you're used to chaos, order seems like a threat, completely like a threat, because it's not something that you're used to, and you don't know is unpredictable to you. And so her mind has literally been programmed. You know, when you practice femininity, they literally tell you that you're reprogramming how your mind works because you've been doing something for so long, you've been doing something so wrong for so long. And so you literally have to reprogram how you see things, how you read things, how you receive people, how they receive you, like everything. She would have to completely reprogram how she receives men and her expectations for men. And I really like that he said, you know, why do you even have to be put in your place in your place in the first place, you know? And it's because that's what she's around. It's like she's feeding off of it somehow, and it's super uncomfortable to listen to, because it's as if she has no sense of control. She's so out of order that she needs the most extreme person to keep her constrained, which is insane to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. And now she's gotten to a point where she's so used to this that boring is going to be like a bad thing, but boring is normal. You know, your life should be boring. You shouldn't be on the edge. Yeah, you shouldn't be on the edge all the time. You shouldn't be dodging bullets all the time. You shouldn't have to be put in your place all the time. There should be order to things. And some of that you should be providing for yourself, but for some reason she doesn't have the capacity to do that.
So she lacks self-regulation.
Yeah, self-control. That's when I did the male vulnerability video, we talked about this a little bit, the difference between like emotional intelligence and emotional control. And one thing that I think the manosphere gets wrong is that they keep telling women that they're emotional, and they kind of justify women's reactions and their behaviors because they're saying, oh, that's how women just react because they're so emotional. But there's a reasonable way to act. And a lot of women aren't taught that. You know, they're not taught how to absorb their emotions and then think about the right way to put that back out into the world. Because when they feel certain things, they immediately react because they feel unstable. And so that lack of emotional intelligence, emotional maturity just leads you down a path of chaos, it seems like.
Danielle, do you have anything else to say? And I just want to finish this quick reaction, and then we'll get back to the questions.
I agree with what they're saying, and I think that men writing off a woman's emotional instability is ridiculous. Like, it shouldn't be acceptable that a female can just not be able to control her emotion, but then expect a man to just tolerate that, or a man to even tolerate that and act like it's normal. A woman acting crazy or being a female is just as crazy as saying men will be men and letting the man run amok and cheat on you like crazy. Neither one of them are acceptable or normal and should be tolerated.
But only one of them is castrated in society.
Hey.
John, you want to add any comments before we finish up this reaction?
No, I want to finish up the reaction.
All right, I love it. Cool. My boy King Rich is right here. Love him.
True, because I think that's one of my hardest things now, because like now I've got a different approach. Now in relationships, I like to be like, I want to be kind of like the man as like, I always want to be in control in the relationship. Like I'm actually scared to like lose control in the relationship.
That don't even make sense. Because you just said, yeah, you've been dating guys that are thugs or street guys or, you know, fake street guys who were putting you in your place. So if they were putting you in your place, how was you in charge?
Well, I mean, they could be in charge. I mean, bears will know I'm trying. No, but so okay. Basically, what I'm saying is that, you know, like, well, to be honest, the way I see it is, I kind of want him to be a thug in the streets, but with me, when we're behind closed doors, you be my you be my sweet boy.
You see the way you're talking, you're just gonna end up a baby mama. That's what that's gonna happen to you.
That's never gonna happen. I will not allow that to happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You're gonna end up a baby mama. I'm sorry, I'm gonna break the news to you. You're gonna end up a statistic in one way or another. You need to change the way you think. It's not mature. It's you're still kind of like, you sound kind of like a 15-year-old.
No, I don't think so. Like I am quite mature. Like I am very mature and stuff. Like
Yeah,
I just feel like
in looks maybe, but that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
you're
to
right.
be honest, look, you're 26, yeah? You're saying you're 26. Blood, you're gonna be 30 in 4 years, blood. That time's gonna go fast. And I'm sorry to break the news to you, but you're not gonna be as hot as you look now. And once you hit that wall, yeah, your options are gonna start decreasing, shrinking, disappearing. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel all right now because you got guys, you got bad boys hollering at you, thugs hollering at you, fake thugs hollering at you, nice guys hollering at you. You get me? King Riches hollering at you on the low. Only joking, yeah. But boom, you're winning right now. So you can say all of this crazy stuff, but guess what? There's gonna be one day that you're gonna realize that, right, I'm not as hot as I used to be, and there's girls behind me that look way better than me, and they're getting all the attention I used to get. And then you're gonna be like, bro, where's all the good guys gone? Yeah. But the fact is, you never wanted a good guy. You wanted a bad boy. And that's gonna be on you.
That's true.
I would say to you, in a smart moment, you may need to reevaluate what you're thinking, because you're talking about, I want to bitch a guy and all of this, bruv. That's ridiculous, bruv. Like, you're just gonna mess yourself up.
It's so true. Oh my gosh.
I'm the realest YouTuber. I'm too real. And you need to put all your friends onto my channel as well, because they need to speak to me as well. Because if they think like you, they're mad as well.
But obviously,
Did she say that she wants him to be a thug outside the home? What did she say about him?
Yeah, she wants him to be a thug in the streets, but then, you know, kind to her.
Yeah, it's more common than we think.
The sad thing is, it's more common than we think, eh? Yeah, he's preaching. That's my guy, King Riches. He's very, very good UK YouTuber over there, fighting the good fight, you know?
This is worldwide, huh?
This is worldwide. It's predominantly in the Black community, but it is worldwide. Like, and that's why he was saying that earlier. It's mixed in everything, in all of our culture, in rap music, in television, everywhere. So it's like, that's just it. It is what it is, you know.
I think I'm more curious to how I watch all that same stuff, and I'm very entertained by it. I love it. I mean, Belly, Menace to Society. I love Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. I grew up with Little Kim and Foxy Brown, but never did I feel like I'm supposed to be emulating what they do, though. Like, I never felt like that is what I'm supposed to be. I don't know how that happened.
Like, do you think Little Kim was as influential as Cardi B?
I don't know, because I'm not influenced by any of it. So I don't know how influential people. I don't even know how to gauge that.
Here's a better question. For the ladies, the women that were around you that all listened to Little Kim as well, were they moving a little bit more? Because I don't think Little Kim was really that crazy, though.
All of the rappers now do what Little Kim did. They all based off Little Kim. All the rappers.
Bruh, Little Kim, let me tell you something. That shit you looking at with them rapping women now, that is Little Kim started that. Period.
Okay.
These women are not original. Sorry to break it to
At
you.
all.
Like, period. The first one to perform on stage in nothing but a fishnet outfit and some panties was Lil' Kim.
Lil' Kim.
That's all she had to fuck on. Period. So
big booties and color hair, ghetto fabulous. It was her.
That was her. They getting
Rapping
all
all
that
around
shit
teeth.
from Little fucking Kim, bro.
She's
is
the first person talking about sucking dick and all that in her song.
So did you see like women around you doing that? Like emulating that?
No.
Yeah.
Cause she's
Right
she's
now.
close to my generation, and them girls didn't copy no damn Little Kim.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like,
if you copy Little Kim, you was guaranteed to fucking not get married. Like, you ain't got to worry about it. Nobody was going to come call.
but see, that's what, like, you know what? I don't know.
So when did women start mimicking that? Then is what I'm
That's what
trying
I'm
to
saying.
figure it out.
That's
Like,
what-
when did
that's the
that
question
happen?
I'm really trying to ask is like, what changed? At what point in
I don't
time did
know.
it become? At what point in time was it like, okay, we can listen to Little Kim and watch Little Kim, but still understand that that is not good for a wife. I cannot be a wife being like that. To now, most women want to be that, and not not.
But you
really-
got to look at the message that's being paired with the behavior. See, when we were growing up, the goal for the women and guys was to find a good husband. You would hear that. I got to find a good husband one day. I want to find a good husband one day. That's not the same message no more. The girls who are emulating Little Kim, which if you want to know when it started happening, all you got to do is look at the rap industry. When did your first half-naked female rapper come back out after Lil' Kim? Who was the first one to do it? After Little Kim, was it Rihanna? Who was it?
Nicki Minaj.
The ones that come to mind to me is Cardi B and what's her name? The other chick.
Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj. She's the closest thing to, like, them two are the closest thing to Lil' Kim. And that's why, look at the message they preaching. Look at the message they sending. So Beyonce Scrub was letting you know that you should be after a man that's got money. He ain't got his own car. Don't talk to me. So that's where the message started shifting the mindset. It made it where it starts to become more transactional than what it really was. And then you had these messages coming in after them from more influential people telling them you can do this, you don't need a man, you know what I'm saying, and then putting all this girl, replacing the man with a girl and all this other shit. And now it's just like, I want to be like her. I want that attention. So I'm going to Instagram and show all my ass. That's what I'm going to do. And now that's what they do.
Do you think it's also because like the male rappers when we were younger, they wasn't rapping about wife and no chick that's like that, but T-Pain was talking about falling in love with a stripper?
Yep.
So that does play into it, but I'm also thinking that social media is also what the biggest influence more
The
than anything.
positive reinforcement from social
Yeah.
media.
Bro,
And
that
the fact
like-
that if you acted like Lil' Kim, people knew you weren't going to get married. You weren't going to get the results that I want.
And we
But
didn't have
nowadays,
social media.
you can go online and you can see people who look like Cardi B, who seem to have the life that you want. And you see the likes that they're getting, you see the attention that they're getting, and you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe it's not that bad, and maybe I should do it too.
Yep. And
But
that's,
what
I
they're
guess
not-
that's what the difference is paired from when you guys were watching Little Kim back in the day to like what the younger generation is doing now, watching Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, I think Nicki Minaj as well. But Neek was saying, my friend and childhood mother would dress her sexy, but that wasn't normal back then.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
shame is
Now-
gone. Like, that's the
Yeah.
thing is that, but back then I feel like there was more shame. If you saw a girl dressing a certain way, you're going to get looks, people were going to say things, and you were going to internalize that because the only attention you were getting was pretty much negative. And so that's training your mind to not do that thing anymore. But
Exactly.
nowadays, if you go to school and people are looking at you weird, you're like, okay, people are looking at me weird at school. But then you go on Instagram, you post a picture, and then you have all these comments and all these likes saying how beautiful you are and how sexy you are.
From all around the world.
The shame is gone from all around the world.
But here's the thing that they won't show. They won't show the times where Cardi B, not Nicki Minaj is trying to be serious and she's trying to portray herself a different way, but no one takes her serious now. No one. She wants to be objectified, so that's what she's been. And guess what? No one takes her serious. Like, she got mad. I forget who it was, but she got mad at him because he just kept flirting with her, and he wasn't listening to shit she said. He was just all about her body. Well, when you put yourself out there like that, men are going to classify you, and they're gonna put you in this category. Once you get in that category, you ain't. The only way she'll get out that category is she needs to start posting some pantsuit pictures. Her with some glasses on, reading a book.
Yeah.
And start performing in regular clothes. Nice.
At that point, she would lose a big following.
I mean, Cardi B be having no pantsuits.
Yeah, I mean, Cardi B started off as a stripper. She promotes herself as a stripper proudly. I mean, but the difference is, I mean, she was still able to get someone to marry her on that level, but I think she had a higher perceived status than he did. Like, she was making more money than he was. I'm pretty sure she's making more money than he is.
What did that matter?
Who's she married to?
Offset.
If he making millions and she making millions, does it really matter that he makes less?
To some, but no, it shouldn't.
It should not matter. I don't understand when they point that out. Oh, but he doesn't make as much as her though. It's like, okay, so can y'all make up y'all man?
Listen,
whether a woman matters or it doesn't. Y'all want a woman that you can support or you don't. Y'all want a woman that's gonna submit, or y'all want somebody that's gonna bring something to the table. Like, all those women are opposites, but y'all men be acting like y'all want it all, just like women be acting like they want a thug and a softie.
Do you think I'm saying that he needs to be making as much as she is?
No, but you pointed it out but he doesn't make as much as her, and I'm just trying to figure out what.
No. I'm saying that for her, him marrying her was a good, profitable move on his part. So typically women are going to want someone that makes equal or more. But he got with someone that's making more than him. So he's winning there. That's what I'm saying. She also got someone to marry her, so she's winning in that aspect. She got the wedding, she got the kid, she got the ring, so that's good. What I'm saying is, typically, that's not the normal. The normal girl is not going to get that. The normal everyday girl that's going to copy Cardi B is not going to get the same results as Cardi B is. That's the whole point I'm trying to make. Not that men care for the money, because, I mean, there's probably some guys out there that'll date a woman for money. I'm gonna, go out on a whim and say most guys won't. Most guys don't care.
Yeah, most don't. But when you start getting over into that both millionaire things, that don't really matter. It don't matter anyway, because you don't need her and she don't need you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just, she don't need you financially. She needs you in other ways. You need her in other ways, because men do need women and women do need men. Well, whatever I know we talked about that, but I'm still going to maintain need, because it is a necessity. It's not necessarily want. People who don't have one or the other are imbalanced like crazy, and they have all other types of problems. But that's besides the point. But when you get over into the millions, either one of them could walk away. What are they gonna lose?
Yeah,
they can't buy a house. Yeah, you might have to move out that mansion. Go buy a $400,000 house. That's fine. I mean, God forbid you went from 10 bedrooms to 6. I mean, woe is you.
Let's hear this clown over here, this jokester. At More Country, there's always a story to their I'm more country. There's always a story to their music. Either you lose your wife, kids, house, etc., or you get it all back by playing the song backwards. So you can't skip. So you can't. So I can't speak on rap, etc. So funny. So funny. True, I agree with Black Wall Street. Oh, there you go. Okay, so we are going to go on to the second to last question. Is Kevin Samuels trying to build a black community or profit from pointing out the poor image? Is Kevin Samuels trying to build the black community or profit from the pointing out the poor image? Chris.
I knew it was coming. I was like, oh, he's gonna call me first.
I debated Danielle, but I'm like, you know what? I pick on her a bit too much, so it's okay.
I think okay. Building the black community, I think, is the goal. I think that's no longer what drives his platform on YouTube, at least. Because I think if that were the case, he would network more. Like, he would bring on femininity coaches, he would bring on therapists, he'd bring on pastors. I think he's kind of gone to the point where he's still highlighting the problem. And so now he's just profiting off of that. Because I feel like at this point, he has enough videos that people can go back and watch. And it would highlight everything that he's saying in his recent videos. And so I think his goal, it started off as him trying to build the black community by showing them kind of what we were lacking or our gaps were. But at this point, he's definitely profiting off of our poor image. Yeah.
I didn't expect that answer from you. I'm surprised.
I did, because she's smart.
Yeah, I didn't say she wasn't smart. I'm just saying I didn't expect that answer. Well,
you know
John,
where I'm going with it. I agree with Chris. I mean, here's the thing. If you're going to point out the problem, we got it. We got the problem. What is the fucking solution? But you're not a therapist. You're not trained in this. You are an image consultant. You don't have the educational background to discuss this. For what you do, you have done well. Now you need to pair these people with a black psychologist who understands how to do this, and this is what they do. This right here. Because a lot of these women that I've seen on there are in a current state of psychological inflexibility, and they have thoughts that are just irregular and irrational, and they're filled with social stimuli. That's exactly where they're getting these ideas from, and it's affecting their decisions. One is that it's okay for you to be 250 pounds and 5'2". No, the fuck it ain't. No, it's not. And I ain't talking about the healthy side. Nigga, don't nobody, you ain't attractive. You just not. To somebody, he out there some fucking where. But if I lined up, if you want to know what's normal, because I know people with the alphabet folks like to always say, well, define normal. Let me help you. Line up 100 motherfucking men and pay them $1,000 if they would date this woman and go down on her afterwards. You have to.
Go down on her?
I would promise you, maybe 5 would take the challenge because they broke as fuck. The other 95, I'm good. Now, and if your number is more than 60, then there you go. I've established normal for you. The majority of the men don't like that kind of woman. So even if I gave you 40 that would, majority won't, and I'm not going no higher than that. Because I think 40 is way too damn generous.
40 is
listening to society do this. I seen a commercial the other day. Fat women all over the commercial.
I've noticed that.
All over the commercial. Big fat ass
as well. YouTube as well.
I had a woman try to check me and a comment to my some. Are you her doctor? How do you know that she's obese? And I wrote back, it's my page, so I said what the fuck I want to say. I said, you know as well as I do, that big bitch is way over plus 30 BMI. She fat as hell. She knows she fat as hell, and I know she fat as hell, and you know she fat as hell. So miss me with the bullshit. That motherfucker is obese. Her stomach is in her fucking kneecaps. It's sitting on her knees, and she got a damn bikini on. And they talking about, oh, beautiful, so confident. I'm like, what?
Big is beautiful.
Like, I know I need glasses, but shit, maybe I ain't looking at this right. I said, no, I'm looking at it right. Her belly is sitting in her knees. You couldn't even see if she had a big. She looked like Rasputin's. She was big as Rasputin's, posing like this. And they was talking about, oh, you're so confident, you're so beautiful. What? What? Why are you reinforcing this mess? But whatever. Then I brought in, but then you had the real people who was like, yuck, ooh, you need to pull that shit down, all kinds of stuff on there. But then she gonna pick me out. All I did was put two little sick faces up there like, yuck. And then you gonna say something to me. Yeah, whatever. Oh yeah, and I did say she's obese. Yeah, I said that.
There's also that part.
Man, so truth is the light. Truth is free.
Truth hurts. Truth hurts.
Truth hurts.
Danielle, what do you think? Is Kevin Samuels trying to build the Black community or profit from pointing out the poor image?
I don't think he's trying to build up the Black community. I don't even know if that was ever really what he wanted. Even his first videos was talking about how he wouldn't advise men to get married. And if marriage is how you build a community, then that was really never his thing. He was just trolling and just becoming popular. I mean, maybe he is helping some women to realize what they need to do. I mean, and that's cool, but I'm not sure that that's his main goal. I think he like hearing himself talk.
Yeah, he got a little narcissistic personality to him.
I mean, because if you watch his channel and he talk about like a low value woman and he called it like sing, but he does that.
Say that again.
When he talk about low value women on his channel, and he be saying that they sing.
Everything okay? It sounds like such good gossip going on back there. We're missing out good content right here.
I swear.
Yeah.
What's the scoop?
I don't think that was ever like what he was trying to do. he just be trolling, but he be talking about singing and what make a low value person. But if you actually pay attention to when he talking to the females on his channel, he be lightweight shaming them and stuff. Like he'd ask a question and they'd be like partway into it, and then he'd stop them and shame them and question them. And so like when they be honestly trying to give their answer, he'd be like, but is that really like, but it's like he whack. He whack.
I think there's some validity to his questioning method. I think there is some validity to his questioning method.
No, I think that he wants you to say what he want to hear. Like if I'm gonna ask you a question, I can't ask you a question and try to fix it without actually hearing your answer. Like you have to be able to explain what you're saying. I can't just think that you're gonna say what I think you're saying. I don't know. He just whacked me.
I figured you'd like this topic, so
I really don't like talking about this man.
I know you don't. After you come on the panel, I'm like, oh, she's gonna like this. All right, we're gonna go on to the last question of the night then. Oh, what's left? For the good one. High value men don't cheat in the exercise options.
Man, cheating is cheating, man. Cheating is fucking.
It's exercising options, though.
Man,
It's
cheating is
exercising.
cheating, bro.
It's exercising. Let have her start it out. Danielle, you there? Bueller. So, start us out here. All right. Last question of the night. High value men don't cheat. They exercise options.
What?
Go ahead.
I don't think she knew you talking to her.
She hears. I don't think she's still muted. Or frozen. No. Combination of both.
You was
She's still
asking me
muted.
first?
Yeah.
They some cheaters. And then it's supposed to be like expected too. They be like, oh well, you know what you get when you pick a high value man. They can all
And the women are programmed to go with it.
That's what I'm saying. They be like, that's just the man being a man. Man, they can all kick rocks.
They be killing me when I hear them talk, boy. Ooh, I swear. You know, Prada, Gucci, all these things come with two prices. The price of the man that bought them for you and the price of the actual bag. Because if you want that kind of life, you got to have a blind eye. Like, man, wow.
They be
Whatever.
talking about they'd rather cry in this type of car than be crying when they broke. Like
Yeah,
it
that's how
never
they
dawns
feel.
on them to just not be crying at all.
John, let me hear it. Let me hear what you're saying. What we talking here?
Bruh, cheating is cheating. Cheating is cheating. I mean, if I was here's the thing, when I was on my journey, I had to have somebody at that point. Because while I'm on my journey to being the high value man, right? That I was born to be. If you wasn't on that journey with me, I don't want no wife. If you wasn't on that journey with me, I just don't want no wife because I don't do all that. I'm not really into all that damn cheating shit. You feel me? Like I would tell you, I used to be a womanizer, but everybody knew up front you were not my girl. And yeah, if you come on tomorrow, there will be somebody else there. Period, point blank. But if I'm with you, then I'm gonna be with you. You feel me? Even if I get confused every now and then. If I'm with you, I'm with you. So, but if you in that journey with me, what I've accomplished, you have helped me accomplish. So I'm not going to cheat on you.
That's disrespectful.
Now, if I become a high value man and I was single the whole time, oh, I'm not finna add you. You fucking crazy. No, I will be exercising my options all the time, a lot. I'm gonna be going to different countries all over. I'm talking about I'm gonna be 25 all over again. Woo! I'm just telling you, I ain't settling down, wouldn't settle down with nobody, wouldn't get married or nothing. You would have had to been with me along the way, or
Once you make your money, it's a wrap.
Oh, I'll be flying them out. I'll fly one out, but she going back. She going right back. Boy, I got you a round trip ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up.
I mean, listen, if you have the money to do it, why not? If you have the money to do it, why not?
Yeah, but I'm just saying I wouldn't entangle myself with another woman. But I would not get another woman involved with me. Like I'm not gonna let no woman into my life once I hit that status. Mm-hmm. Like it's just not gonna happen. That's just me. I'm not speaking for all men. I'm just telling you about me. And I got somebody, so it don't really matter. So when I win, she win because we won. You see what I'm saying? That's the way it works.
Chris.
It's definitely still cheating. I think a lot of the times if you ask a woman if she's okay with a high value man exercising options, there's always other things he has to do as well. The biggest thing is that she can't find out about it. That is the idea of exercising options, is that it's
discreet.
It's discreet. It's extremely discreet. And I think the reason why they say high value men can do it is because I think maybe they have the resources to make sure it stays discreet. Maybe NDAs, they they have a lot more to not say they have a lot more to lose, but they have a lot more to lose, you know, financially. Like they
Financially, yeah, they do have a lot more.
yeah. And so I think that's why why some women are willing to put up with it is because I think that the chance of you actually finding out about it and then having to make that decision, you won't really have to make it. I think most women, if they found out about it, they would leave. Like, I think all women think that it's cheating, but the hurt of being cheated on doesn't outweigh the benefit of staying with the man with the status, unfortunately, for a lot of women. And so I disagree with this statement. It is cheating, but I understand why some women are able to deal with it, to look past it. Well, not even look past it, to agree to this type of arrangement, knowing that this could be an option, you know, contingent on them not finding out about it.
I think high value men who cheat are stupid, like ignorant, like plumb damn dumb. Like if you married, be married. You just plumb stupid. You stupid. Bro, you have everything. Listen, when I hustle pool, I don't play somebody who stand and I don't stand to win as much as I'm willing to lose. In other words, I don't play the guy who's got $40 in his whole fucking pocket and I'm on here gambling with $1,000. That's a bad bet because he can win $1,000, but the most you can win is 40. So if you are a high value man, more than likely you're not cheating with a high value woman. You're cheating down, like you cheating way down, like you cheating with somebody who you think is willing to sign a non-disclosure agreement, right? Well, the only reason that she's giving you time of day, because most high value men become high, because we're not talking about athletes and all of them. Most high value men become high value men later in life. So you're not the most attractive motherfucker, but your pocket really makes you attractive. So if you're out here cheating on somebody who's willing to marry your ass, you have a lot to lose because 50% of your shit is real. Not to mention, this girl might just get mad that you got her on the side and say she didn't agree to have sex with you. That you forced yourself on her. You was talking about you. I even told him, what about your wife?
So
Now you're in jail.
Let me ask you this, because piggybacking off of what you said before, because you said if you made it to high value status by yourself, without any woman there by your side,
exactly,
would you be still getting married, or
no?
Is it just single?
And I said I would not get married. I would only exercise options, meaning I would be all over the world, an international hoe. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
What if she had money too?
Huh?
What if she had money too?
Oh, and she was interested and she had money too? That's different. I might hook up with her then. But she couldn't be like
hook up or marry. Hook up or marry.
No, marry. If I say hook up, I mean marry.
Okay.
Yeah.
If he ain't hooking up, he's just flying you out. You gonna get flued out.
Then get flued out, exactly.
And back. And back. Don't forget and back.
And back.
We ain't doing no one-way plane tickets. Now we ain't doing that. I mean, I would be, that because I think that's the smarter way to do it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't married, so the chance of this girl like lying on you goes down because she's trying to win you, but you don't give her opportunity to win you. By the time she figure out that she ain't gonna win you, you in Rome, or you in Paris, or you somewhere else, or how I do it. I tell you straight up, you're not gonna get me, but that creates the chase. But I'm not fixing to have myself wide open for these lawsuits, because that's how them lawsuits come about, man. Like some people get, like Kobe got messed up. You think that girl told on Kobe because he really did rape her? No. She told him, man, that woman had 5 different nut stains in her panties. She been with 5 different men. So obviously she a hoe. She wanted money. She know dude got money and she wanted money. That's it.
Did she really have 5 different nut things?
Yeah, 3 to 5 different nut stains in her fucking shit. That's how he got off. Because how you gonna say this man raped you and we got down 5 different suspects?
I mean, it was still like settled, wasn't it? It was still like a settlement, right? Wasn't it?
She got what she wanted, and Kobe White got a $25 million ring and a fucking Lamborghini automatic, and they don't even make Lamborghinis in fucking automatic. That was some expensive ass. That's all I can do. I mean, that was the most expensive. She went out on one, boy. Woo! That's historical.
I think it was only like a 10 grand payout, wasn't it?
Nah, I'm talking about to keep his damn wife. That payout was yeah. Half is real, man. I'm trying to tell you. That man lived in California. That's a 50% state. Half is real. And he was worth a lot.
That's scary. Well,
yeah, his jersey, he had a jersey. Now that he's passed away, that was worth $1 million.
It is what it is. But on that note, it has been a fun night. It's been a long night, but a fun one. Okay.
John, I need a way to get in contact with you.
All right.
In the private chat.
Yeah. He be making us stay till after anyway, so.
Okay.
Forcing all of you guys. That's it. Got you on the clock. But let's do one last shout outs for everyone's channels because you've all been such a great sport. Chris.
Hello, my name is Chris. I have a channel called The Blooming Ebony, and I'm also on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony. I talk about femininity, vulnerability. I had a video that popped up yesterday or last night that you can check out if you're interested. Please comment, like, and subscribe to CKQ Podcast. And thank you so much for watching.
I appreciate that very much.
Black Wall Street here. If you want to learn about trading stocks and options and how to pluck from the money tree, just hit me up at Black Wall Street Trading LLC on YouTube or John Cornelius 8770 on Instagram.
There we go. The most turnt nurse.
My name is Danielle. On YouTube, you can find me at My Sister's Keeper. And on Instagram, you can find me at Fly Nurse Mom Wife. Saturdays, you can find me on Knowledge and Relationships on the women's panel. And it seems like I'm becoming a regular on Wednesdays on the CKQ. I love this panel the most, I swear.
You're regular on Wednesdays, but today it's just still Tuesday, you know?
So right. Look,
man, she on a lot of podcasts.
I don't know what day it is because I've been working midnight, so I really don't know what day it is.
That's fair, but you know what? You still get a shout out from your fans. All right, guys, it's been an amazing night. Let's give one last read to Madre, all right, at Black Wall Street, all right. Comment, but I agree. If you're betting 1,000 for 40, you've already lost. Even if you win that 40 because you've exhausted too much time trying to get that 40.
Exactly. Your mama knows something, boy. You hear me? Mama knows.
I don't listen to her.
It's just bad all the way around, bro. It's just a bad deal. You shooting $1 million.
That's why she's the mother.
15,000 a year, and you shooting a whole 50 mil at it. You crazy?
But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fun night. Glad you can enjoy us. Check us out some more every week on Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Like, comment, subscribe. And on that note, we will catch you on the next show.
Keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks.